Hello, hello. Welcome back if you're back from before. Otherwise, welcome, welcome. Mm. Hope everybody is doing well today. Yeah, that's a decent position for that. All right. No, those aren't. That's the button. All right. So I've been playing a little Forge off stream, and I got a lot of packs. I also purchased some of these, but we're cracking them open and seeing what we get. Next, we have another revised booster. Some decent stuff in revised. Not too much in the rares. I mean, there's some stuff like Balance is a rare. It's really good. Contract from Below is pretty good. And obviously the big hit in revised are the dual lands, just because you can't really get them anywhere else other than um, limited edition and unlimited. So let's see what we have. Frozen Shade, not terrible, nothing special. I do really like the art on Frozen Shade though. This is by Douglas Schuler. This card's interesting because early days, a lot of people played this with flying because it just kind of looks like it should have it. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, Disenchant. Disenchant's a really solid card. Hits both artifacts and enchantments, and the rate is pretty good. There are some things that are a better rate, but they usually have downsides. Disenchant is still pretty playable. I think it even shows up in standard sometimes still. I don't know how great it is there. It kind of depends, I suppose. But it's a solid card. Wild Growth. Wild Growth is a great card. Awesome card to have. Yeah, it's just a good card. It turns your land into a land that taps for 2. Not bad. Illustrated by Mark Poole. I like the art. Hey, we got Dwarven Warriors. Not a huge fan of Dwarven Warriors. There's definitely stuff you can do for it, but 3 mana for a 1/1, and then you have to do other things on top of it is just a little much for me personally. But it's certainly not terrible. Phantasmal Terrain. I think that's like the 4th one we've pulled today. It's all right. Holy Strength. I've come around on Holy Strength in Limited specifically just because there's not a whole lot of removal going around. I mean, there's more removal in Revised and Limited than there is in a lot of the expansion sets at the time. But early game, this really helps you maintain an aggressive advantage. So I kind of like it. Pearled Unicorn. Pearled Unicorn is nice. Pearled Unicorn is a 2/2 for 3 mana. So I guess it's about as bad of a card as you can get. But it's decent and limited. A 2/2 is not terrible. Oh, that coffee's gone. It was illustrated by Cornelius Broody, and I really like the art. I think it's really nice. But it is just a 2/2 vanilla. Giant Growth. Giant Growth is really good. Still something they print and still something that is considered like standard level strength and stuff like that. But it's really solid. It's a good combat trick. Um, you can, use it to kill creatures or you can use it to win. It's pretty versatile. Illustrated by Sandra Everingham, who eventually became the second, I think it was the second, art director. She took over after Jesper Meerfers. Um, I think Fallen Empires was the first set that she did. I don't remember, but good artist and great art direction. She did the art direction for Homelands, and the art is the best part of that set. So pretty cool stuff. Maze of Pegasus, great card at the time. Two keywords on a 1/1 for 2 mana. It's pretty unheard of at the time. Not completely, but this is a very strong card. Flying is really good, especially in limited. Outside of limited, it's whatever. But the banding is nice if you know how it works. Circle of Protection, white. Heck yeah. Not a huge fan of the circles, so we'll just move right on. The art is okay, though, I guess. Douglas Schuler did that. The Might Healer. Not the hugest fan of this. I pretty much never draft it, and if I do end up with it, it stays in my board. There's definitely uses for it, but I find the one damage just often isn't enough. It's not awful. It's very very flavorful. Illustrated by Tom Warnerstrand. I like the art, but not that impressive of a card. Holy crap, we got a Sengir Vampire. Sengir is the best black creature in the set. Pretty solid card, all things considered. Its ability is generally not useful. Like, this card is often compared to Sarah Angel, which is a better card because the Vigilance is really nice, way nicer than this ability. You can do like stasis bullshit with it, but even if you're not doing stasis bullshit, you can keep it back to block and swing in. So Sarah Angel is great. Stingir Vampire is almost as good, but its ability is pretty win more. It doesn't usually come up. It can come up occasionally, but eh. Still a really solid card, especially if you're in black. Like, this is a banger in limited. I have I've had games on lock, and then a Sengir comes down, and I've just lost. So, illustrated by Anson Maddock, and the art is really, really hilarious. It's very, very funny. Castle. Castle is interesting. Castle was effectively changed. I don't think the alpha version said your attacking creatures don't get this bonus. I think was the change they made. I could be making that up. But they changed something about Castle in revised. Fire Elemental, hell yeah. Illustrated by Melissa Benson. This is a 5/4 for 5 mana. Really solid at the time, especially in limited, stuff like that. Big creatures were pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot of efficient removal running around, but most of it was at uncommon. You're not super likely to see it, and even if you do see a couple, you're not necessarily guaranteed to draw it. So stuff like Fire Elemental is actually pretty good. Let's see what rare we got. The Hive! Yo, what's up, dude? Welcome, welcome. We're just opening some of the packs that I've won in Forged and talking about the cards we get. And then depending on how much time I have afterwards, we'll probably play some games. The Hive is interesting. The original wording of the oh, sorry. The original wording of the Hive is just fucking ridiculous because it was the first ever token creator and they didn't really have a concept of tokens at the time. So you, like, it tells you to mark it as by whatever. Um, it's just really funny. Hey, card game dude, what's up? Hive is one of my favorites. So many words. It is so many words. I really really love how they worded old cards because there wasn't internet, there was no Oracle. There, like, we all didn't have phones in our pockets, so they're like, all right, what are the corner cases that people are most likely to be confused by, and they just fucking put it on the card. I think it's really charming. The Hive is so cool. I've never been able to make it work in pretty much anything, but it'd be nice. Yeah, 10 mana for a 1/1 flyer. Hell yeah. It's an artifact flyer too, so it gets hit by pretty much every piece of removal in the set. Not that you should waste your removal on a 1/1 flying token that someone paid 10 mana for, but you could do that. Um, Fascinating. The sets planned before were made after that. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember exactly what happened with Mirage and Ice Age specifically, but I know they pulled off the East Coast playtesters from Ice Age to do Antiquities, and Richard made Arabian Nights, obviously. But yeah, the history of back in the day was really fascinating. They were really flying by the seat of their pants, and it shows. But I think the game was way fucking cooler for it. But that's that pack. What do we got next? Ooh, another pack of the dark. We got dark, we have a couple antiquities coming up. We got more revised. We have Ice Ages, Alliance. I think we have three Ice Ages and one Alliance. Yep. And then we have Urza's Destiny, Urza's Legacy, an Onslaught, a Nemesis, a Scourge, an Invasion, another Scourge, Apocalypse, and a 7th edition. Interesting. Let's open the Dark, though. I like the Dark. The Dark is a great set. The cards are pretty weak, but the artistic direction of this set is second to none, in my opinion. Dark Heart of the Woods. Dark Heart of the Wood is such a cool card. It's the first ever enemy color multicolor card, first ever multicolor card that isn't a creature, and was in the first set to ever release multicolor cards that were not legends, and the second set to release multicolored cards ever. Hey, dude, welcome, welcome. Cracking some packs. Ghost Ship. This thing fucks in limited. Like, if this comes down and you don't have a way to deal with it, you just lose. Ghost Ship has won me games. I have looked at this and been like, wow, this card fucking sucks. And it kind of does, but in limited, this thing is fucking brutal. Goblins of the oh yeah, let's talk about the art. Dark Heart of the Woods was by Christopher Rush. The art's fantastic. I love it so much. Ghost Ship is well done. Tom Varner's Thrawn has a very detailed style for the time, and I really appreciate it. Uh yeah. Goblins of the Flarg, another Tom Varner Thrawn. Mountain Walk, it's a 1/1 goblin with a keyword. The gets destroyed if you have dwarves thing almost never comes up. Like, it's pretty rare that that's going to happen, especially since you build the deck you use, so just don't include both. It's pretty decent if you end up against someone in red. Otherwise, it's yeah, whatever. There is a lot of goblin support in the sets though, so that makes it a little bit better. Bog Imp, heck yeah, it's a 1/1 flyer for one in a black. Pretty standard affair. Indubitably. Yeah, Bog Imp is fine. Ron Spencer illustrated this. Really like the art. Love the like. It's soaked in blood. Very very spooky. And the fish, the dead fish that looks like it was trying to jump over the log or something and got hooked is very very funny. Good storytelling in the art. I like it. Speaking of goblin support, here's Goblin Shrine. If target land is a basic bout, all goblins gain +1/+0. And then it does damage if it removes. I think your stream. Oh, fuck. Look at that. Why is it doing that? It is dead. Thank you for, give me a second here. Um, why are you doing that? Oh, da, da, da. If I... Whoop. Well, that kind of fixed it. But no. Sorry, it looks really stupid right now. Uh, there we go. Uh, that's weird that it did that. Thank you. Thanks, Crypt. Appreciate that. Um, All right. Where were we? Oh yeah, Goblin Shrine. Illustrated by Ron Spencer. Pretty solid in the set with a bunch of goblins. It's still kind of hard to like make goblin tribal work in draft, but it's happen. The stars have aligned for me a couple times, and it's pretty good when it happens. Overall, pretty bad card by today's standards, but it definitely has its place. Good old Marsh Gas. Marsh Gas is an instant illustrated by Douglas Schuler. Like the art, it's a 1 mana instant that all creatures get -2/-0 until end of turn. So it's kind of like okay, I should have noticed too, but I am also dumber. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a black fog sort of, except worse because if they have more than 2 power, it doesn't. And also, darkness was black fog, and that came out in Although darkness might be single target. No, I don't think so. I think darkness is from Legends, and I think that is just literally black fog, which came out before this. So this card is kind of doesn't really have a purpose. I don't think I've ever cast this card. But I like the art. It's all right. Eater of the Dead. Dude, this thing is so cool. It's not particularly good. It's a 3/4 for 4 mana, or for 5 mana, 4 and a black. It's not awful. And you can use this to pull creatures out of their graveyard. If somebody is playing like some sort of reanimator thing and you can get this out, it's pretty good in those situations, which is pretty funny. Hey, dude, you made it. Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah. It's a very interesting card. It's not super strong, and I've always been compelled by it, but I've never actually gotten around to like messing around with it. But it was illustrated by Jesper Mirfors, and I love the art on this. It's very, very cool. Let's see what our rare is though. Oh, it's the best one. Good old Scarwood Hag. Scarwood Hag is a 1/1 for 2 mana, and you can pay 4 mana to give target creature Forest Walk until end of turn, or you could just tap it. Uh, and target creature loses Forest Walk, which is pretty cool. Eater of the Dead would go so hard at Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, maybe. Scarwood Egg. Not a great card. Pretty funny. Illustrated by Anson Maddox. I like the art. It's very funny. She looks like she's having a good time just hanging out in the bog water. But that is our pack of the dark. What do we got antiquities. We have a few packs of antiquities to open. I'm excited about this. Let's crack this bad boy. What is that Forest Walk cost? It was 4 green mana. Tap it to give Forest Walk, and then to take Forest Walk something from something, you just have to tap it. Very funny card. I'm not quite sure what the story there is, and I'm not sure why they costed it at four green. It is fuck crazy. Why though? That's a great question. I don't even. Is there any Forest Walk in the dark? There might be Forest Walk in the dark, but it's a really bad ability. All right, antiquities. First up is Argivian Blacksmith. This is kind of a reference to Semite Healer. It's 1 and 2 white mana for a 2/2, and you can tap to prevent up to 2 damage to target artifact creature. It's very niche. It's not good. I would not play this in Antiquities Limited just because white's not particularly great there. It's not the worst thing, but like all of the removals in green and red, so you should really focus those colors. Illustrated by Christine Kamen, who I don't think did too much work. I I kind of like this, but the arm on it does not look like an arm, and it messes with me. Yeah, it does keep your hive tokens in play. I might have to put that together in a deck so I can lose. Dragon Engine. Decent enough Tron payoff, and in the limited specifically, if you can dodge the like crumble at common that is gonna hit every fucking thing you have, like if you get a chance to swing in, pretty decent. Not particularly good, but it is really cool. Illustrated by Anson Maddox, and I like the art. Staff of Zergan. Wow, do not fucking play this card. So it's 4 mana. It's a mono artifact. This is before the tap symbol too. So like it's if it says mono up there, that means that there's a tap in the activation cost. So you to activate this, you have to tap and pay 3 mana, and then target creature loses -2 until end of turn. Uh, it, it's not good. It's not good. If you hit it with a Priest of Titania, or not a Priest of Titania, Song of Titania, that turns all of your artifacts into artifact creatures with power and toughness equal to their mana cost, then this gets pretty good if you do that. But its ability is pretty terrible in my opinion. Hey, Yoshin Soldier. This thing is kind of cracked at the time. It's a 1/4 for 3 mana, and you can cast it with any color or no colors. Uh, and it has vigilance. This thing is actually really sick at the time. It dodges lightning bolt, which is really nice. Overall, it's pretty sweet. Illustrated by Christopher Rush too. I really like it. Does it say in the It doesn't say in the flavor text, but his sword is made of glass. Um, yeah, his sword is made of unbreakable glass. That's why it looks like that. That was part of the lore at the time. Yeah. I mean, the back hasn't been terrible. I can't believe we haven't seen a Tron land. Those are very fucking common in this set, but we'll keep going. Hey, there's a crumble. There's like a crumble in like every fucking pack of this, which is why it's very awful to draft. Just grab every crumble and be in green and then red, and you'll just win. At least when you're playing against computers. Crumble's really good. I think it still sees some play in specifically old schools. If you're like mono green and don't have another way of dealing with artifacts, it's kind of your best choice. But I don't think it sees too much play anywhere else. I could be wrong. It is pretty efficient. Grape shot catapult. This is a card I've always looked at and laughed and thought was stupid, but it has kicked my ass a couple of times in draft, which is pretty funny. Especially if you have revised creatures, this just fucks on your Mesa Pegasus, which is really annoying. Otherwise, it's a 2/3 for 4 mana. It's not great, but if you are using uh the classic strategy of just draft every fucking flyer you see so that you win the draft, this is a problem for you. So it's usually a problem for me. I'd still probably never take it though. Hey, there we go. We got an Urza Tower. Urza Tower, pretty solid. The Tron lands, really, really cool, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I like this art. I like all the art for the Urza Towers. They were done by Mark Poole, but this one is particularly good in my opinion. I really like the sunset and the shading is nice. Very pretty card. Let's see what our rare was. Oh, the hit of hits. The hit of hits. Mishra's Workshop. This card is like fucking 3, possibly 4 fucking grand in real life. This thing is fucking insane. Like it's not restricted in vintage, and in vintage there's a workshop or shop decks. I forget what they call it, but the whole purpose is just Mishra's Workshop. It is a very, very good fucking card. We don't have a Mishra's Factory to compare it to, but Kaya did the art for this, and it's supposed to be a burnt out Mishra's factory. Um, After like everything has happened, which is really cool and interesting. The art's very cool on this. It's a fucking hell of a card. Great pull. A Guardian's trading card. Oh damn, very cool. That's very, very cool. Mark Poole seems like he'd be cool to meet. I have to make it to some fucking convention or something just to shake hands with a lot of those people. We have another antiquities pack. Let's crack this one. Reconstruction. Heck yeah. This is the third reconstruction we opened today. The first one on this stream, but I had to shut down the last stream a little early. Reconstruction doesn't have a set symbol on it. They just messed up and it never got it. And in one of the tournaments, I think it was in 94 Worlds. It was in 94, I can't remember if it was Worlds, but they had a rule where you couldn't, none of your cards could have an expansion symbol, which means Reconstruction was the only expansion card that was legal to play. And it did see little play, which is pretty awesome. Gen Con? Yeah, Gen Con is one I definitely have to try to make to eventually. Um, I, yeah, Gen Con sounds awesome. And I've done quite a bit of research into like at least the early Gen Cons. I know a decent chunk about like 93, 94 Gen Con, which was quite a fucking while ago. But it would be nice to go and see some of those OG artists. It makes sense that they ended up in a lot of other card games because why wouldn't they? They have the experience and they bring some level of name recognition with them. Hey, Ocean Soldier. Another Ocean Soldier. Good card. I have 6 of them currently, so didn't need it, but it's cool to see. Sage of Latnam. Sage of Latnam is really interesting. Taps to draw a card, but you gotta sack an artifact to do it. It plays pretty decently in limited just because you can sack an artifact after you've blocked something with it, so you can get a little bit more value. Generally, I prefer to do that with ATOGs and then punch them in the face really hard. Um, because especially against the computer and Forge, they often won't block the ATOG because they don't understand that whatever big thing that they block, I'm just gonna sack it and hit them in the face with the ATOG. But you can do that with drawing cards. So Sage really makes the limited experience quite a bit more interesting in that regard. And this card was also printed at common, rare, and uncommon, which is kind of neat. It's a pretty good card. Orcish Mechanics. Orcish Mechanics is the only card in this set that can deal with anything that isn't an artifact. You have to sack an artifact to do it, but it deals 2 damage and 3 to you, so if there is a problem creature or something, Orcish Mechanic is your only solution. Um, Otherwise, it's pretty decent. It's a reference to Orcish Artillery from Alpha and Beta and all of that. It's less good because you have to sack an artifact to do it, but oh, it doesn't deal the 3 damage to you though. I'm misremembering that. That is a lot of words for an orc. Solid card though. Urza's Chalice, the 6th Lucky Charm, based off of the Lucky Charm cycle from Alpha, where whenever you cast a card of a color, you can pay 1, and or whenever anyone casts a card of that color, you can pay 1 and gain a life. And this is for artifacts. Pretty solid. Again, this is before the tap symbol, so if the activation cost doesn't require you to tap it, up here it says Poly Artifact, which is kind of interesting. Hey, we got an Urza's Mine. Heck yeah. I like the art on this one. Anson Maddox did the Urza's Mine cards, and I like them. I think they're quite interesting and cool. Hey, we got the same tower. Heck yeah. Look at that beautiful thing. Alright, and what's our other uncommon slash rare? Strip Mine. Oh my god, yes. Not quite the pull as Mishra's workshop because there's way more copies of Strip Mine and it's much easier to get your hands on, but hell of a fucking card. Love that thing. Interestingly, a lot of people don't realize this, but Strip Mine has 4 arts. It did in Antiquities. I think they mostly just reprint the 1 art for it, but all 4 of the arts are like the same um like the same picture of the fucking hole in the ground. So unless you're like looking at all 4 of them at the same time, it's very possible to like go through your whole life and not realize there's 4 arts to this card. What's up, Geargate? Yeah, adventure mode's been kind of fun. I've mostly just been doing the drafts to get a bunch of cards and packs. I haven't really messed around with the adventure mode too much, but I plan to. There's one art that's borderline the same art. The others are similar, but one is just the same. Yeah, there what at least one. I think 2 of them have some sky in the art, so like they aren't exact same. But if you're not looking at them all at the same time, and you only ever see them when somebody occasionally plays a strip mine, you would never be able to tell. All right. Yeah. So these are all the packs that we have to open. We have revised. We have another antiquities. We have an alliance. We have three ice ages. We have a destiny, a legacy, an onslaught, a nemesis, scourge, invasion, another scourge, apocalypse, and a seventh edition. Not sure where I got that, but but I did. Let's open this revised. Maybe we can get another dual land. Another stream of life. Excellent. Can't have too many of those. Crawlworm, what a fucking beast. Crawlworm is super good in limited and stuff like that. If you're playing revised, this is definitely a good thing to have. It's so fucking big. Illustrated by Daniel Gellin. I really like the art on this. It's super cool. I like that it's all green, the card's green. That kind of thing tickles me. Power Leak is a bad card. Don't fucking play this. Target enchantment costs 2 extra mana during the upkeep phase of its controller's turn. If they can't or don't pay it, it does 1 damage to him for each mana that he didn't pay. So enchantments are fairly rare in the limit of this. You're not going to like you will go whole games without seeing one. And if that's the case, it just doesn't have a target. And then yeah, if you do, it's not terrible because they'll take the 2 damage or it'll tax them 2 mana. Then it's pretty good. It's just very niche and unlikely to come up, which is what makes it bad. Curd Ape. Oh, Curd Ape's a goat. Well, actually, he's a gorilla. Or an ape, I suppose. I have a crawlworm from a lady at my work whose dad was an alpha tester. Holy shit, that's fucking sweet, dude. That's fucking sweet. An alpha tester. Hell yeah. Anyway, Curd Ape is great. This was banned and extended for a while, which is really fucking funny. It's a 1/1 for 1 mana, but if you have a forest, it's a 2/3. So you know, if you play a Taiga and then Curd Ape, this thing is just way too good. Not sure why they considered it good enough to ban and extend it, but they did. Um, yeah, it's decent. I like it. Art's good. Ken Mayer Jr. illustrated it. If I didn't say that, but yeah, I like it. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Not particularly good. I mean, if you see a few of them after you've opened a Lord of Atlantis, then they can be good. And if you're doing like Alpha 40 or something like that, I guess it's okay. But I think Goblins is way better in Alpha 40 because Goblin Balloon Brigade doesn't like it just says goblins get flying. So in Alpha 40 they play it as all of your goblins get flying. I don't know if you can play Merfolk in Alpha 40, but if you could play it anywhere, that's where you'd play it. Illustrated by Jeff A. Menges. I do really like the art on it. I think it's very cool. Just like Crawlworm is all green in the art and the green border and stuff. I like when they do that for cards. Fire breathing. Fire breathing is okay. It's certainly not great, but it's okay. In limited, if you are read enough, it can come up. Illustrated by Dan Frazier. Certainly not one of his best works, but it's not bad. But it's all right. When everything else on rate is a Stormcrow, Kurt Ape kind of feels like a goy. Yeah, but I agree. I still don't know that it's good enough for that. Ooh, Terror. Terror is pretty solid. Terror is a really good card. 2 mana to blow up a creature that is not an artifact or a black creature. Those riders on there, we talked about this earlier when I opened a fear, but these are flavor reasons, right? Because you can't. Basically, the logic is that the black creatures are also scary and aren't going to be scared by the creepy, scary things, and artifact creatures are constructs, so they also can't be scared, which is why it has those riders on it, which is kind of interesting. Atog. Man, I love Atog. Atog is an insanely good card. At the time, depending on like what you're playing and stuff. But the +2/+2 ability for each artifact sacked is so fucking good. I love this little guy. I'm a big Atog believer. Illustrated by Jesper Meerfers. It's great. Big fan of the Atog. Weakness. Weakness I really like in limited. 1 mana just to remove a 1/1 or a 2/1. or to make like a 3-3 easier to deal with, or a 2-2 to just not be able to do anything. You have the Mirrodin precon with ATOG? Yeah, that's right. I love the Mirrodin artwork for ATOG. But yeah, ATOG came out in Antiquities. So ATOG was in the third set. He's a boss. I forgot they brought him back in Mirrodin. That's so cool they brought him back in Mirrodin. Yes. Yes, that is true. ATOG is an anagram, or ATOG, ATOG, however you want to pronounce it, is an anagram of goat, which is very funny. Weakness is good. Not super great outside of limited. You could maybe justify running it if you were doing an Viduran Enchantress deck, I suppose. But outside of that and limited, it's you got better options. But it's not bad. I prefer Paralyzed to this just because it. But I think this is also pretty good. A surprising number of annoying things have one toughness. Yeah, for sure. Like just even because I think Hypnotic Spectre, the way it's worded is it has to deal combat damage to discard the card. So even hitting a Hypnotic Spectre with this is pretty good. Otherwise, a Prodigal Sorcerer is really fucking annoying to deal with. Imagine being an ATOG and landing on Mirrodin. Yeah, it's a fucking buffet, you know? It's so funny. Ooh, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual, amazing card. It's insane how long they kept printing Dark Ritual into standard, because this card is just fucking cracked. Or it's made of food. Yeah, that is how you get Megatog. The Atog cycle is super interesting. But yeah, Dark Ritual, super cracked. Illustrated by Sandra Everingham, awesome. What else we got? Hill Giant. Look at this bad boy. He's 4 mana 3/3. Otherwise he's vanilla. Fucking great and limited. Outside of that, obviously you'd never play it. But I like Hill Giant. It's very cool. Regrowth. Hell yeah. Talk about another card that's fucking sick. This was restricted for a while. Um it's pretty good. It's not like great. Um, depending on what you like, if you have Time Twister, regrowth is really fucking insane. But depending on what you're doing, regrowth is like in standards and stuff like that. It's usually it's fine. But if you're playing with powerful cards, regrowth is pretty decent. Dark Ritual did irreparable damage to Black's design space back in the day. Yeah, for a long fucking time it did. It was crazy too because for a longest time they're like, no, Black is gonna have Dark Ritual and it's gonna have Necropotence and Standard and everything is gonna be balanced around that. So Black really sucked for a long time. The most recent Digimon. There's a newer. I guess that makes sense. It wasn't any good until set 9. Wow, you had to wait till set 9. That's rough. Ripperoni. Hey, Wooden Sphere. Not great, one of the Lucky Charms, but not terrible. It's just a 1 mana artifact. You pay it, and then anytime a green spell is cast, you can pay 1 to gain a life. In limited, this is can be very annoying to deal with, but outside of that, it's not great. You can sack it to an ATOG, though. 1 mana to give this +2/+2 for a turn at the right time. Very good. So I would like snap grab anything under 2, any artifact under 2 if I had ATOGs. Then it got a good tier 1 deck that immediately got them. uh, it's so funny when stuff like that happens, and they're like, "Yeah, we made it good," and then they're like, "Oh, we taking that back." Magic does that a lot too. Right? Magic did that with Mirrodin, right? Mirrodin had so much shit fucking just immediately banned and emergency banned, as did Urza's Saga. Wall of Fire, nice. Richard Thomas did the art. 0/5, it has fire breathing on it. This can be pretty annoying and limited if you don't have flyers, otherwise it doesn't fucking do anything. But it's pretty decent. Pretty cool card. I like the concept of it. Well, kind of like the concept of it. I'm not the hugest fan of walls, and the alpha limited design space has way too many fucking walls for my taste. But they're kind of interesting. Now let's see if we got anything good. All right, it's no dual land. Sorcerer's Queen is kind of interesting. Originally from Arabian Nights. You can tap it to make a creature a 0/2. So it's basically just a targeted flood on a stick, which is not bad. And yeah, the art goes fucking hard. I love the art for Sorcerer's Queen. Kaya Folio did this. I'm a huge Kaya Folio fan. I think she's probably my favorite artist in early Magic or in all Magic. But there are so many really good artists. Phil Foglio also does great fucking work. Not the greatest pull, but certainly not terrible. The regrowth is really nice, and the dark ritual is nice, so it kind of makes up for kind of a bunk rare, but that's okay. Let's open another Antiquities. We might see another ATOG. Urza's Mine. Nice. Oh, good. This Staff of Zegan. Heck yeah. Clay Statue. Clay Statue is a 3/1 for 4 mana. You can pay 2 to regenerate it. This is pretty solid, and if you get the Battering Ram, I think it is, it's a 2 mana 1/1 with banding when it attacks in this set. You combine that with a Clay Statue and then just regenerate it and dump all the damage on it. That's really fucking good. So this can be pretty decent, especially against the computer because it doesn't really understand what you're doing and you can just keep doing it to it. Probably less good against people though. But still, a 3/1 for 4 mana that you have regenerate with is pretty decent. Artifact Possession. Artifact Possession does 2 damage to target controller. Each time target artifact is tapped or its activation cost is paid. This is pretty good in limited. Do I have a full Tron set? In this, I would probably have 3 by now, but I keep selling them because they're worth a decent chunk, and I don't. It's gonna be a while until I build Tron. Plus, every Antiquities draft I find, I do. So I have some of them right now. I think I've settled on keeping every time I get a new art that I don't have, I keep one. So I have some of the Tron lands, but I don't have a full set right now. I think I probably did. I know I've had it more than 4 of each, but I don't know if I've gotten every individual art yet. Artifact Possession, illustrated by Christopher Rush. I really like the art on this. It's very cool. The card itself is okay in limited, but this limited does kind of suck, so I wouldn't play it unless you're me. But there's definitely way funner limiteds to play. Draftness Restoration. Draftness Restoration is interesting because in limited, specifically with like all the artifacts and stuff, you can use this to get yourself your cards back, or you can use it to fuck your opponent's draws for the next few turns, which I think is kind of interesting. It's not particularly good. I don't know that I've ever cast it, but I dream of doing it someday. Illustrated by Amy Weber, and I really like the art. I like the skies that she does in her work. And the brickwork and the shading is surprisingly nice in this one. But it's an interesting card. It's not particularly good though. Reverse Polarity. Look at this fucking thing. Illustrated by Justin Hampton. It's really funny and kind of bad. But all damage done to you so far this turn by artifacts is retroactively added to your life total instead of subtracted. It's fine and limited, I guess, but I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where I was like, yeah, man, reverse polarity would save me right here. I'm sure I have, but it's such a niche card. Hey, we got another Urza Tower. We got the plain art, which is very nice. They don't make them like these anymore. No, they do not, dude. No, they do not. Uh, Urza's Tower is pretty sick. Again, by Mark Poole, as we said with the last Antiquities pack we opened, but very nice. The Urza lands are interesting in this set because Mine and Power Plant appear, 2 of them appear at C2 and 2 of them appear at C1. Yeah, yeah, 2 of them appear at C2, meaning they're twice on the common sheet, and the other 2 appear once on the common sheet. And then Tower appears 3 copies at C1 and 2 copies at C2. So they're all oh no, some of Tower appears on the uncommon sheet, I think. I was just looking at the correlation of this set earlier, and I already fucked this up. Point is that there's a lot of copies of the Urzatron in this set, so you will pretty off. I think on average you'll open 2 to 3 of them per set. Um, I've never been much of a Magic person, but the underwater set next year looks kind of dope. I think I heard a little bit about it on some YouTube video. I was like watching while washing dishes, but I haven't looked at it at all. But yeah, it does sound there's been some hype for it, so I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't normally participate in new sets and stuff like that, but very occasionally I'll get the itch and like go to a like a pre-release to do a draft or something. Not very often. Hey, Primal Clay. Kind of a bunk rare, or it's not a rare. There's no rares in this set. It's 6 commons and 2 uncommons off of the sheet. Primal Clay, not particularly strong, but it's also not bad, and I really like the art. Another Kaya Folio art. Um, when you cast it, you get to choose if it's a 1/6 wall, a 3/3 creature, or a 2/2 flying creature, which is certainly not terrible. And in limited, this is probably pretty good. I don't think I've ever actually had the chance to play it in a Antiquities limited. But pretty cool card. Oh, where to the Ice Age boosters? Primal Clay is decent as a playable. Yeah, it depends on like obviously it depends on your card pool, but it's certainly decent. It's certainly decent. Let's open up an Ice Age booster. We might get something real good in here. It'd be really, really cool to get any of the Pain lands. Necropotence obviously would be pretty sick. There's Strike Pack from one of the first Gundam TCG starter decks. It's basically Primal Clay. Interesting. How is the Gundam TCG? I heard quite a bit of people talking hype about it for a while. It sounded like it was pretty cool. But I haven't looked into it. Panic. Panic, illustrated by Mike Kimball. It's 1 mana. Target creature cannot block this turn. Cast only during combat before defense is chosen. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Really solid and limited. Outside of that, I don't know why you'd bother. Look worse alpha with cumulative upkeep. Yes, absolutely true. But some of the cards are better. Elvish Healer is not one of them. This is a 3 mana 1/2, and you can tap it to prevent 1 damage to any non-green creature or any player, or up to 2 damage to any green creature. So if you're doing green-white, this is still pretty bad, but less bad. As a Turbo TCG nerd, it's pretty standard. Creature Battler, yeah, that makes sense. But if you like Gundams, it's cool. They had to do a really wild ban list recently where they banned a pair of cards from being in the same deck and limited 2 cost 2 vanillas to 4 per deck. That's interesting. It seems like kind of convoluted, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I used to like Gundams. Bears OP. Hell yeah. I do appreciate a card game where Grizzly Bears is OP. I think that's a solid power level to build your game around. Uh I really like when I was a kid I loved Gundam. I watched all the shows and me and a couple friends had a bunch of the action figures and stuff. Gundam was really fucking cool. I don't remember the last time I even watched it though. Meteor Shower deals X plus 1 damage divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures and players. So this is just kind of worse Fireball. Kind of. There are like. I think there is like 1 or 2 like mana costs you can pay where it actually comes out in your favor. But you have to pay double what X is, so it's kind of not great. It's okay and limited though. Like you gotta take what you can get, right? Clairvoyance. Look at target player's hand, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Not bad if you're heavy blue in limited. Like, it's not great, but it kind of just reads as a card that you, like, it just replaces itself. So it's fine. Looking at your opponent's hand can be valuable, especially if you're packing counter spells just to know what to counter, but it's not great. Hey, we got a snow-covered forest. This is a forest, but it's also covered in snow. I like these. I think they're cool. Foul Familiar. Man, I've read this card so many times that I never remember what the fuck it does. Okay, so it's a 3/1 for 3 mana, and it cannot be declared a blocking creature. You can pay 1 life to return it to its owner's hand. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty decent and limited. If they hit it with one of their, like, 3 removal spells, you can bring it back and then send it back out. That's pretty solid. I would definitely play this in limited. A Snow Devil. The 1/2. Or, sorry, it's 1 in a blue, is what I meant there. Target creature gains flying. As long as you control any snow-covered lands, that creature also gains first strike when blocking. It's okay. In limited, if you don't have much for flying, having flyers is good, so it's okay there. Otherwise, not great. Wild Growth with new art by Mike Rabe. Wild Growth, really good. We talked about it, just an alpha card. Love it. The art is pretty interesting here. We'll just move right on. Brine Shaman is a 1/1 for 2 mana. You tap it, sacrifice a creature to give target creature +2/+2 until end of turn. And then you can pay 1 and 2 blue and sacrifice a creature to counter a summon spell. Pretty solid and limited if you happen to be in both of these colors. But even if you're just in black, this can be good in specific because it'll like help you when the board gets clogged up. It's not great, but it's pretty valuable and limited just because, you know, your card pool sucks. Juniper Order Druid. This is literally just Ley Druid. It is the exactly Ley Druid. It is a 3 mana 1/1, and you can tap it to untap a land. It's just Ley Druid. Illustrated by Jeff A. Menges. I really like the art on this one. And I don't have a problem with there being 2 Ley Druids, but it is just Ley Druid. Errant Minion. During target creature's controller's upkeep, errant minion deals 2 damage to him or her. He or she may pay 1 for each damage he or she wishes to prevent from errant minion. Super good and limited, just because especially these early sets, you'd be surprised how often it just fucking comes down to decking once everybody uses up their removal and gets their creatures out, and you just can't profitably attack. And in situations like this will win you the game. So I really recommend it if you're doing a limited. I have some Snake Manador Entomb in my adventure deck. It goes pretty hard. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Ooh, Order of the White Shield. This is the first time they referenced White Knight, and they made this, and then they made Order of Leaper, and then I think they made another one too. That's just the same card, but Order of the White Shield is pretty solid. I'm actually happy to have this because I'm working on the background and building a Pestilence and Protection from Black deck. So that'll slot in really nicely into that. Uh, Illustrated by Ruth Thompson, or yeah, Thompson, I think is how that's pronounced. I like the art on this. This is very cool, kind of majestic. Order of the Ebon Hand. Order of the Ebon Hand is Fallen Empires. Or Order of the Ebon Hand, I actually took out of the Pestilence and Protection from Black deck because it has protection from white, and so all of my other stuff it has protection from, and I found like it's not great because it just dies to the Pestilence. So I just run the White Knights and the variations of that, and the Pestilence and Dark Ritual and Demonic Tutor and stuff like that. Onyx Talisman. Uh, these talismans are really interesting. They're 2 mana, and you can pay 3 to untap a permanent, but only when a black spell is cost. These are kind of referencing the Lucky Charms, but instead of gaining a life, you get to untap a permanent. They sound like they are really powerful. I've never been able to actually make use of these in anything. I did actually draft one once, just so that because I figured in the limited it would be slow enough that maybe I could do some cool things with it, and then I just never drew it. So I still have no experience with these. But maybe eventually I will draft one and draw it, and I will be able to figure out if there's any use case for it. Illustrated by Sandra Everingham. I like the art. I think it's really nice. That's very cool. Lure, another alpha card. Except this one has art by Phil Foglio. Man, I love Phil Foglio's work. This is fantastic. Lure's a good card. It's great in limited edition. You can put it on like a Thicket Basilisk and just destroy everything they have, which is really fucking funny. So yeah, Lure's pretty good. But let's see what our rare is. Ah, Curse of Marit Lodge. That's good. That's the one I was hoping for. I really wanted a 5 mana red spell that when it comes into play, tap all islands. Islands do not untap during their controller's untap phase. It's actually like kind of decent, I guess. Specifically if you're playing against blue. It's illustrated by Amy Weber, and I like the art. The art's really cool. It's kind of an abstract thing, which is pretty neat. Not great though. It's kind of a bunk pack. We have a 12 card Alliance booster pack though. Let's see what's in here. Gorilla Warcry. Attacking creatures cannot be blocked by only one creature this turn. And then you draw a card. The weirdo big red enchant. Yeah, yep, indeed. Uh, this is pretty okay. It's a cantrip, so it replaces itself. It's good and limited. I don't know that I would even at the time consider it constructed playable, but yeah, maybe. Arcane Denial. Nice. Not the best counter spell because they can draw two cards. You draw a card too. And depending on like what you're doing is pretty good if you are doing like stasis howling mine to deck them out. In those cases, Arcane Denial is actually really solid, and it's pretty fun in Commander because a lot of like casuals really fucking hate counter spells. But if they get to draw two cards, they will probably be a little less upset about it. So I like it in Commander for that reason. Um, Otherwise, I would probably play Memory Lapse over this, but Arcane Denial is pretty cool. I'm happy we pulled it. Guerrilla Tactics. Man, I love Guerrilla Tactics. It's so funny they put Guerrilla Tactics in the same set where they have a bunch of gorillas, which is really, really funny. Um Apparently the gorillas in the set were a late change. That is Richard Kane Ferguson. Yeah, Richard Kane does amazing art. It's really, really fantastic. I really like his um he did Dak and Black Blade, right? Or am I fucking that up? I think he did Dak and Black Blade, and I really like that one. But anyways, it's really really funny they did guerrilla tactics in a set with a bunch of gorillas. Very very funny. But I guess this was a late change, so it kind of makes sense. This is kind of a reference to Psychic Purge from Legends, and is a way to do something when you constantly get mind twisted, which is nice because if it goes to the graveyard, it deals 4 damage to them. Then we got Whipvine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Richard style can be is very, very, very distinct. Although a lot of the early artists have very distinct styles, which is why early Magic is so much of more of a hit for me personally. Whipvine, I've read this card so many times I never remember what it does. Can block creatures with flying. Yep. You may choose not to untap it. Yada yada. Tap target creature with flying blocked by Whipvine. That creature does not untap. It is decent, but like the stars have to fucking align for it to do anything. I don't think I've ever even picked this up in a draft. Illustrated by L.A. Williams. The art's kind of cool. Stench of Decay. This is pretty solid at the time. It's not super great. But all non-artifact creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. So you can play this in a deck where you mostly run artifact creatures and it doesn't bother you at all. It gets around I does this might get around protection. The rules of protection have changed a little bit, but I know you can't be damaged with protection, but I don't know about -1/-1 counters. This might get around protection, but it definitely kills 1/1s pretty good. For 3 mana, that's not terrible. And it gets around indestructible, which is cool. Assuming they're a 1 or that you did enough damage to them to for this to do it. It's pretty cool. Heather Hudson did the art for this. It's not bad. Um, oh, so Devi Sage, you can sack 2 lands to draw 3 cards. Choose and discard one of those cards. Pretty decent. I've used this in draft and it's okay, but a lot of my draft games like just come to decking, so I'm very hesitant to draw cards, specifically in these old limiteds. Which speaking of actually makes Arcane Denial better because if they take the card draw and then you deck them out, bada bing, bada boom. But even without the possibility of decking, a hard counter at 2 mana is really fucking good and limited, regardless of what it gives them. But yeah, this is okay. This is illustrated by Carol Hayer. I don't know that name. She might have started in Alliances because I've talked about every card that came out before Alliances, and I don't think I've ever talked about her. Interesting. I like the art. Pretty realistic style. Kildoran Pride. I have laughed at this card a lot. It's 2 mana for enchanted creature to get +1/+2, and then you can pay 2 and a blue to switch it to a different creature, which is great. Super fantastic. This has actually helped me win limited games of alliances, just because in my experience of drafting just alliances, grabbing all of the white flyers and then these and then like whatever color you see the most rares in usually or most removal, will win you pretty much every game. But yeah, it's pretty decent. Kildoran Escort, 2/3 with banding for 2 and 2 white. First off, I fucking love the art of this. This is so great. He's just riding a little doggo. Super fantastic. But it's actually pretty good and limited too. The banding is really nice, and banding on a 2/3 is pretty cool. Overall, pretty awesome card for limited. Outside of that, like for 4 mana, you could run Armageddon, or so just do that instead. But it's pretty neat. Scarab of the Unseen. Sacrifice Scarab of the Unseen to return all enchantments on target permanent you own to their owner's hand. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Super good. Super good. I've drafted this a couple times in limited because I was like, it's 2 mana, draw a fucking card. Like maybe it'll come up. I don't know that I've ever activated that. But it is pretty funny. Illustrated by Sandra Everingham. I like the art. Surge of Strength. Choose and discard a red or green card from your hand to have target creature gain trample and get +X/+O until end of turn, where X is equal to that creature's casting cost. This is pretty sick. If you manage to get this and be in like green red stompy, this is a great way to just knock your opponent out of nowhere. Pretty solid card. Probably constructed playable if you're doing like some sort of like old school thing. Maybe not, but it's pretty close. Like it's fairly efficient. Um, like I would experiment with this in like an elf ball kind of thing, assuming you had like big creatures and not just fireballs. Unlikely Alliance. Unlikely Alliance is it's an enchantment, costs 1 and a white, and you can pay 1 and a white. Target non-attacking, non-blocking creature gets +0/+2 until end of turn. Very fancy stuff. So there's a fun story about this card. So in Alliances, there's a card called Exile. I think it's 2 and a white, and it exiles target attacking creature, if I remember right. Originally, that card was called Marriage of Convenience, if I'm remembering this right. And this art, and Phil Foglio did the art for that card. I think it had the same effect, but the idea of it is it's a political marriage, and so the creature that's attacking like gets kicked out of combat and kicked out of the game because he's got to go get married. And they decided that this art was too silly for a card that they thought would be a tournament playable card, and so they swapped arts around and changed Marriage of Convenience to Exile, and then they made this. which is a bit of a bummer in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, I love this art. It's so fucking funny. Phil Foglio does great work. Like, there's so many little fucking jokes in here. It's fantastic. All right, Alliance Rare. Come on, I could really use a Force of Will. Hey, it's a Beldegriff. It's not a Force of Will, and it's nowhere near as good a Force of Will, but Feldegriff is pretty sweet. I like Feldegriff. It's a funny little dorky guy. Illustrated. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Illustrated by Amy Weber. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet guy. I like that one. Oh man, we are cracking slow. Maybe I should stop talking so much. You can pitch it to a force. I still need to open the force, but yes, if I get the force, I can pitch Feldegriff to the force. It is cooler than force though. My spirit animal. Very cool. All right. We're gonna speed up on the comments a little bit here, I think. All right, Gaze of Pain. Gaze of Pain is fucking kind of stupid. I like the art. Anson Maddox did the art, very cool. But every time, I don't remember what the card does, but every time I read it, I am super disappointed with it. Um, Illusionary Forces. What a fucking banger! If you get this and you're doing a limited, play this. This is a 4/4 with flying for 4 mana. The cumulative upkeep is a little bit a little rough, but assuming you have like 4 mana when you play it, you can kind of keep ahead of it long enough to just win. Illusionary Forces is pretty solid. It also can't be lightning bolted. Not that you have to worry about that in this limited, because I think Bolt's not in here. I think it's Incinerate, which is 3 mana, 1 in red. I believe Incinerate is an instant, but I don't remember. Anyways, point is, Illusionary Forces is great. Illustrated by Justin Hampton, and I actually like the art on this one. I think it's pretty cool. Bindorn Brownie. Yeah, this is a 1/1 for 2 and a green. And you can pay 2 and a green to untap target creature. Pretty fucking busted. You could actually combo this if you it's not it's not a good way to do it. But if you animate artifact a time vault, then you can just win with infinite turns if you have this in play too. And at least enough mana to do this, which is pretty fucking funny. Of course, there's better cards to do that. There's Nature's Choice, I think, in Ice Age and Instill Energy in Alpha. But you could do that if you wanted to. Uh, Innervate. Yeah, so 1 in a blue, tap target artifact, creature, or land, and then you get a card at the beginning of the upkeep. Pretty solid and limited. You just twiddle something and then it replaces itself. Not bad. This was illustrated by L.A. Williams. I like the art. It's pretty decent. Hey, we got a snow-covered mountain. How fun. Giant Growth. Giant Growth is a good card. The art is a little weird in Ice Age. I can't believe Kildorn Pride was not done by Susan Van Camp. There are 2 arts. Were they done by the... You're right, though. It is very, very much in her style. I think both arts were done by the same artist, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, Giant Growth. I like the art. L.A. Williams. Giant Growth's a great card. It is a little weird to have a Dragonfly in the Ice Age set, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. Brian Shaman. This is the second one of these we've opened. It's alright. Decent and limited. Imposing Visage. This is pretty sweet. This is, it just gives a creature menace, which can be pretty good. Illustrated by Phil Foglio, and I love the art. I love the art. They're all like, oh my god, you're so fucking ugly. It's fantastic. Mind Ravel. Mind Ravel is, I really like the art on this a lot, done by Mark Teeden. It's 2 in a black, and target player chooses and discards a card from their hand. So this is not good, because they get to pick the card, so it's like 3 mana for a duress, but they pick the worst card, or the card they need the least. So it's just never been good, even before duress, because like Mind Twist and Hymn to Torak and stuff. So not a great card, but the art goes fucking hard as hell. Grizzled Wolverine. Grizzled Wolverine is a 2/2 for 1 and 2 red mana, so it's a Heirloom Minotaur with an ability. You can pay a red mana to give it +2/+0 until end of turn, but you can only uh, use this ability only when a creature is assigned to block Grizzled Wolverine and only once per turn. I really, really love cards that, like, fucking give me a list of rules of when and where I can do it. Um, Illustrated by Cornelius Broody, and the art is fucking hilarious. I love this little thing just fucking standing on the rocks, screeching at that dude. Very funny. Not a good card though. Arctic Fox, illustrated by Mark Poole. Love the art. It's very pretty. It's a 1/1 for 2 mana, and if defending player controls any snow-covered lands, no creature with power greater than 1 may be assigned to block this. Fantastic. If that ever comes up, uh, awesome. It reads like a Yu-Gi-Oh card when it lists all its limitations like that. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Order of the White Shield. Nice. We pulled 2 of these. Like I said, I was actually in the background building a deck where I can use this, so I'm very excited. Once again, art by Ruth Thompson, and I really like this one. Great card. Carplusian Giant. This is a 3/3 that costs 7 mana, and you can tap target snow-covered land you control to give it +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, the order art does slap. Super fucking sick. This art is by Daniel Gellin, and it's really funny. I kind of appreciate that. This card kind of sucks. It's like playable-ish in limited, but you're gonna have to draft your snowlands, and so in my experience, not great, not great. But it does look pretty cool. Centaur Archer. Heck yeah. This is a 3/2 for 3 mana, which is not a terrible rate on its own, and then you can tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature with flying. This is pretty sick and limited. Um, Outside of that, it's not great. It is kind of hard to cast because you do need a green and red, and in limited, your coloring fixing sucks, so it's gonna be hard. All right, Ice Age. Come on, what are we? Necropotence, dual lands, or Pain Land rather. No, we are Fiery Justice. Fiery Justice deals 5 damage divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. Target opponent gains 5 life. Wow. Wow. So you could pay 5 mana, or so you could pay one of each color. Hit them with 5 damage and then they gain 5 life. I wish there was a way to play Forge Adventure mode with only old border cards. There is. That's what we're doing. There's a setting that says you can click and it's old border. There is some like not old borders that slip through the cracks. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm playing right now. Is just old border Shandalar. There are, like I said, there are some like special versions, and occasionally when I'm drafting, I'll like see like Japanese cards with a new border, but it's only cards that existed at the time. Yo, dude, what's up, man? Good to see you here. We're just cracking packs and hanging. Fiery Justice would be playable today in standard. Yeah, I was joking. It's actually not bad. It's pretty great in as far as like dealing with creatures. Um, it's I don't know that I would recommend trying 3 color in this limited. Um, I like the chaos of seeing every magic card ever. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to eventually mess around with the not old border forge because it's just gonna be fucking crazy. Uh, but I wanted to dip my toes into the shallow end first. Is there's a 2010s cutoff point too? I'm actually not entirely certain. I don't know for sure. I would imagine the cutoff is, what is it? Scourge, Judgment, Scourge, Onslaught. I think that's the last set because Mirrodin is the first expansion set to use the new border. So anything before that is old border, and anything after that is not. But I do not know. Anyways, yeah, Fiery Justice is pretty decent in the right situations. I had just missed your stream earlier. Yeah, I had to cut out for a bit. So you can get Visitors. Yeah, maybe. But a ridiculous Phyrexian Dreadnought Stifle Fling vintage deck. That's so fucking cool. Fling is so funny. There's old modern border and new modern border, and I think it would be cool if we could get a cutoff. Yeah, I mean they I haven't joined yet, but the people that work on this have a Discord server. I don't actually know where it is. I haven't seen the link. I actually have to like join that and talk to them. But a couple of the developers popped into one of my streams and said hi. They seem pretty open to like feedback and stuff like that. So I would definitely like if you have like questions or suggestions or anything, or maybe like if you like do any sort of development or anything like that, they maybe could even use help because it's open source. Um, but yeah, you can at the very least pop in and say what's up. Anyway, yeah, yeah, Fiery Justice is decent. In this limited specifically, I wouldn't, just because it's pretty hard to do 3 color. But 5 damage to any number of creatures is actually pretty solid. All right, we are knocking these down. We have another Ice Age. We have another chance at opening either a Fire Covenant or a Necropotence or a Painlands. Elvish Healer again. What a card. Disenchant with the new art. Disenchant's a good card. I like this art. I prefer the original just because I'm weird that way, but that's pretty solid. Kildoran Guard. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. How many drafts did you do? Oh my god. I'm a big fan of the drafting, dude. Uh I'm a big fan of the drafting. We've opened a bunch of packs too. Although I will say that a lot of the later like I also bought I think I bought out one pack thing. So I think 8 of the packs I bought I didn't win in draft, but the rest of them I won in drafts. So yeah, I've done a few. Uh, I enjoy drafting. It's quite fun. Where was I? Oh yeah, yeah. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If that creature leaves play this turn, bury Keldar and guard. Well, I thank God we added that because otherwise this would be way too good. Why do we need to balance that? It's probably a flavor reason, I suppose. Use this ability only when attack or defense is announced, and only if defending player controls no snow lands. Oh, good. Good. Really needed another don't do this on this card. Hell yeah. Foxfire. Foxfire is an instant untapped target attacking creature. Yeah, so this is just a 3 mana fog and cantrip. It's not awful in a situation where you'd want a fog, but I very rarely ever want a fog, so I do appreciate the replacing itself though. Like if you have good cards, but not a whole lot of them, then I think cantrips are pretty good if you can pretty much guarantee you'll win before decking out. It's pretty hard to do that though. Snow-covered swamp. Nice, not bad. Krovokian Fetish. I love this card. It's crazy to me. They're like, yeah, let's put Fetish on a card. It's so fucking funny. This is it's an enchant creature that just gives +1/+1, but it also cantrips. Just pretty decent. And then we have Circle of Protection Green. Yeah, we know that one. Not bad. The new art by Sandra Everingham is pretty sweet. I like the frogs just kind of hanging out. Aaron Tree. Aaron Tree is an enchant creature, costs 1 and a red, and target creature gets +3/+0. If that creature attacks, no other creature can attack this turn. This is pretty decent. Firefox art is bad. Yeah, yeah. Margaret Organ Keene did this. We should talk about that. Margaret Organ Keene did this. She's fantastic. She does a lot of really cool stuff. There's a guy on air. Well, because his friends can't attack with him. Obviously, he's really sad because he has to go to battle by himself. That's why he looks so sad. Anyways, Margaret Organ Keene is great, and the art on Firefox is really trippy. I think I have a copy of this somewhere in one of my bulk piles, just because I kind of appreciate the art, and I got it somewhere. Keldoran Dead. I love this card. I think this card is pretty sick. This is a 3/1 for 1 black mana. When it comes into play, when Keldon Dead comes into play, sacrifice a creature, but it's a 3/1 for 1 mana, and it can regenerate. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but I fucking love it. And the art is fucking amazing. Melissa Benson did this. Also, speaking of, in the like little corner, you can see her little signature. She always puts that in all of her art, so you can tell which arts are hers just by that. But this is so fucking funny. I love that the one is like, talk to the hand, dude, because the rest of me don't want to fucking hear it. Oh, these dudes are so fucking funny. I love this card. I think this one's pretty great. Flare. Flare deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Draw a card, and it's 3 mana. So pretty fucking shit in constructed, obviously, but this is really, really good in limited. So her symbol looks like a magic seal. It's fitting. Yes, yes, it does. I agree. It is fitting. The exact reason I ordered Firefox 2, just sweet art. It's only like 4. Yeah, yeah, it's a cheap fucking card. And yeah, it's a great reason to have that art. It's really, not only is it really cool, it's just really weird for like a magic art, for magic card art, which is really impressive when just, especially now when the styles are so vastly different. Speaking of weird art, Pete Vendors did this circle protection blue, and it's the funniest fucking thing. Oh my god. Justice, Ruth Thompson. Yeah, yeah, Lamau indeed. Justice is 2 and 2 white. During your upkeep, pay white or destroy Justice. Whenever a red creature or spell deals damage, Justice deals an equal amount of damage to the controller of that creature or spell. If another spell or effect reduces the amount of damage a red creature or spell deals, it does not reduce the amount of damage dealt by Justice. Fantastic. Goes great with your conversion. Fuck that red player. Whiteout. All creatures with flying lose flying until end of turn. If whiteout is in your graveyard, you may sacrifice a snow-covered land to return whiteout to your hand. This is pretty solid. Yeah, they need to go back to people doing real paintings on canvas. It looks so much more modern. It looks like so much modern. Current stuff is just computer art. Yeah, in fact, I think they have to do digital art now. Not necessarily for everything, but they do. But they are switching mostly to digital art. And yeah, there's plenty of digital art that's really cool, but I do really prefer the old art. Yeah, imagine opening a pack and this is just there to say hello. Everything except sagas and secret layer. Oh, for all right. So I'm seeing, yeah, for the digital requirement. It's everything but sagas and secret layer and all universal universes beyond yeah, makes sense. Point is they've been kind of fucking artists over for, well, fuck, close to 30 years now in my opinion, but anyways, Whiteout. Yeah, Whiteout's pretty decent. It's illustrated by Nene Thomas. It's fantastic. I really like this art. Yo, Ice Flow. Ice Flow's pretty solid. You may choose not to untap Ice Flow during your untap phase. Tap target creature without flying that is attacking you. As long as Ice Flow remains tapped, that creature does not untap during its controller's untap phase. Uh, Pretty solid. Unless they're playing flyers, then it's not. For universes beyond the TMT stuff, look like AI stuff, even shafting real artists even more. Doesn't WotC have a good relationship with their artists? It depends what you mean by have a good relationship with their artists. So again, I'm not an artist for them. I can't actually speak for them on any of this. But what I do know is that because Magic is so popular, and because at this point a lot of the artists that do make Magic cards, uh got into art because of magic cards, right? So they when they were kids they opened up magic cards and they were like, "Oh hell yeah." But Wizards of the Coast has such a like for every artist they have, they can replace them immediately and get three more. So they don't the pay is I guess okay. And like it's fine, but I don't know that it's that great. It depends. Like does Wizards of the Coast have a good relationship with their artists? It's hard to say. It's not like any of the artists can speak out about like bad things or they'll just get dropped. So do they have a I don't know. But I do occasionally hear some things that are frustrating. It's my understanding that they don't get paid a lot, but they keep the original and are able to sell prints, right? It depends. They can't for Universes Beyond. Um, and I don't and with they did keep the original, but with digital art there is no original, so they don't keep the original anymore. They can sell prints. I'm sure, maybe not for Universes Beyond, but I'm sure they still um what are they fucking called test prints, is that artist proofs? Thank you, that's the fucking word I was looking for. I hope they still do artist proofs. I don't know if they still do them. I think they do not do them for Universes Beyond, but they do pay artists more for Universes Beyond because they can't sell prints. um I mean, they could be way better, but I don't think we collectively value art enough for artists to get a better deal. That's true. I don't know, man. Like at the end of the day, Wizards of the Coast is a giant fucking company. They were just doing union busting, and like, I don't think any of this is good for any of the people that are there, other than at the top. So, but I don't know. That's just personal vibes. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. But yeah, they at least used to do artist proofs. Um, and you'd get to keep the original and stuff like that. And it does depend, right? Because like if you draw a card that like is very fucking good at like ultra rare, then your artist proofs are going to be worth a fuckload. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not in the industry. I can't really speak for it, but the vibe I get is that WotC doesn't treat fucking anyone good enough. Better than some other games that don't even credit their artists. Yeah, that's true. Like if you compare it to Yu-Gi-Oh, who like I think Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten better about it, but yeah, for the longest time, like you don't even know who does the art for Yu-Gi-Oh, which is wild. Yu-Gi-Oh worse than evil. Yeah, I could believe that. I think Wizards just does a bunch of posturing for public and social media. It's all for show, whatever the show others think will make the money. Yeah, 100%. Right? Like they do that all the time. Anytime something comes up, like it's a shitload of virtue signaling. Yo, not not the rare I wanted, but we'll take it. Martin Stromgold. This thing is actually pretty cool. I've actually considered like making a commander deck out of this guy. I don't think it'd be any good, but this is a reference to Keldon Warlord from Alpha. And when he attacks, all other attacking creatures get plus star until end of turn, where star is equal to the number of other attacking creatures. If Martin blocks, all other blocking creatures get plus star until end of turn, where star is equal to the number of other blocking creatures. Very cool stuff. The One Ring plagiarism comes to mind. Yeah, that's an interesting situation. I don't. That would actually be a good mono red. I mean, yeah, it's pretty decent. Like I mean, by the legends that come out today with like a million keywords and stuff, not so great, but it's kind of interesting. The One Ring plagiarism system is or situation is really really interesting because they didn't super throw Frazier under the bus for that, and it's weird. Why it doesn't make any sense to me. That whole situation is just very very doesn't pass my sniff test, but I don't know anything about or I don't know anything that isn't publicly available. Um But it's such a strange situation. It's weird. I don't know what happened there. All right. Well, we're starting to cut through these. We have an Earth's Destiny to open up. Let's see what we get here. Goliath Beetle. This is a 3-1 with trample for 3 mana. Not terrible. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Multani's Decree. Destroy all enchantments. You gain 2 life for each enchantment destroyed this way. Fancy. It's just slightly more expensive Tranquility with some life gain. Not the worst thing. I looked away when you put it on screen. What was the red legend? It was Marton Stromgold from Legends. So it's the one he has the oh fuck what? I just read the ability. All of the attacking creatures get plus X, which is the number of attacking red creatures. It's pretty decent. I saw in a Mad Max cube. That's fucking sweet. Yeah, that card sounds great in a Mad Max. That in a Mad Max cube. That's so funny. Yeah. Multani's Degree is actually pretty okay in this limited because there's a fuckload of people think of like the Urza block as artifact matters, but it's kind of not. It's enchantment matters, which is kind of weird and interesting. But so destroying enchantments is actually pretty good. Elvish Lookout, not bad if you're playing Elves. It has Shroud. This is a 1/1 for 1. Pretty decent. Flame Jet. Cycling 2. It's a sorcery that deals 3 damage to target player, and you can pay 1 in a red. Obviously not great, but not the most awful thing I've seen. Wild Kolos. This is a 2/2 for 2 in a red, and it has haste. It's pretty neat. It's not terrible. Decent and limited. Otherwise, it's just a French vanilla. Scent of Cider. Reveal any number of red cards in your hand. Scent of Cider deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. Neato. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Pretty sweet in a mono red deck. Taunting Elf. Hell yeah. Taunting Elf is great. All creatures able to block Taunting Elf do so. You can do some fun things with this. Very, very cool. Scent of Jasmine. Reveal any number of white cards and you gain 2 life for each card revealed this way. There's a place for it. Could be decent. Twisted Experiment. Twisted Experiment, enchanted creature gets +3/-1 for 2 mana. So it functions both as removal and you can pump your thing up. Pretty sweet. Goblin Gardener. This is a 2/1 for 4 mana. Oh boy, what a rate. And when it is put into a graveyard from play, destroy target land. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that. Capuchin Standard. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and you can sacrifice this to draw a card. Oh, that's kind of neat. Kind of neat. Replaces itself. Aether Sting. This is our uncommon. Whenever one of your opponents plays a creature spell, Aether Sting deals 1 damage to that player. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Probably pretty good in limited. Iridescent Drake. This is a 2/2 with flying for 4 mana. When Iridescent Drake comes into play, return target enchantment card from a graveyard to play Enchanting Iridescent Drake. You control that enchantment. That's pretty decent. That's actually bomb in this limited specifically. But yeah, it's a 2/2 flyer for 4. That's decent enough in limited. What else did we get? Metathran Elite. Unblockable as long as it's enchanted, and it's a 2/3 for 1 and 2 blue. Yeah, it's fine. Alright. Here's the rare though. Is it any good? Opposition. Yeah. Yeah. Opposition is pretty okay. It's not great, but it's pretty okay. Tap an enchanted creature, or tap an untapped creature you control. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. Pretty neat stuff. Pretty neat stuff. What do we got? We have 8 packs left. We have a Legacy, we have an Onslaught, we have a Nemesis, we have Scourge. I think we have 2 Scourges. We have an Invasion. Yep, there's the second Scourge. Apocalypse, and a 7th edition. Alright. I've been locked out with opposition. Oh yeah, you can get locked with it. Like I said, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like it's build aroundy. Um but it's not terrible. Um I will be right back, guys. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. So give me a couple minutes and we will continue. Oh. Ugh. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, man, I think I farmed too many packs. I can't believe how long it's taken us to bust all these. What is this? Legacy? Yeah, Legacy. All right. Yavamaya Worm. It's a 6/4 for 4 man. Oh my god, they power crept Crawl Worm. I can't believe they would do this. What's next? Colossal Dreadmaw? What the fuck? Sweet card. It's just better than Crawl Worm. Yavamaya Granger. All right, so this is a 2/2 for 2 and a green, but it has Echo, so you basically it's 6 mana, but you spread the cost out. When it comes into play, you search your library for a basic land, and you put that land into play tapped. Shuffle your library afterwards. So these, I kind of like this design space because you can either basically use them as a spell, or you can pay a little bit of extra mana and keep the 2/2. I think that's kind of neat. Pretty cool. Parch. Parch is an instant. It costs 1 and a red. Choose one. Parch deals 2 damage to target creature or player, or it deals 4 damage to target blue creature. Yeah. That's kind of a cool way to do color hate, because then the card is like still playable, but you just get a bonus if they have the color that you're hating on. That's kind of a cool way to do it. Intervene. Counter target spell that counters a creature. Neat. So it's kind of just a better avoid fate, but in blue. Pretty neat. Giant Cockroach. I played with this earlier. Giant Cockroach is a 4/2 for 4 mana. Otherwise, it's basic. It's pretty okay in limited. There's nothing special, though. Slow Motion. Slow Motion is an enchant creature. Costs 2 and a blue. During the upkeep of enchanted creature's controller, that player pays 2 or sacrifices the creature. And if it's put into the graveyard, you get it back. Cards like this are pretty good in the limited just because you can, keep recycling them. It's a form of card advantage, which is pretty nice. But it is pretty pricey for that. Although this is about what some of these dumb creatures cost in alpha, so it's not that overrate. Erase. Exile an enchantment card from the game for one white mana. This one's pretty fucking solid, especially in limited. There's quite a bit of there's a lot of enchantments in this block, so. Phyrexian Debaser. This is a 2/2 with flying, and you can pay 3 and a black for it, and you can sacrifice it to give another creature -2/-2 until end of turn. Really solid and limited just because removal options are generally tight, and this is a removal option. And when it's not, it's a 2/2 flyer. And honestly, the rate's not all that terrible, uh, with those things considered. Radiant's Judgment. Man, I hate when this gets cast on me. I hate this thing. This thing is pretty decent. It's 3 mana. It only blows up a creature that's 4 or greater, but those are generally the ones that are a problem anyway. So that's not really a downside. I mean, obviously it can be. But in those cases, you can just cycle it away, which is pretty neat. Although I don't know that I've ever willingly cycled this because, like, what if they play a creature that's bigger than 4? Talking about a progressing disease, the second stage of yeah, the some of the flavor text is really well done in a lot of these. Plague Beetle. This is just a 1/1 with Swamp Walk. It's like kind of a color shifted mountain goat, if you will. And so, all the situations that mountain goat is good in, this is also good in, except not because this needs swamps and that one has mountains. Pretty solid. I also played that in the last Urza block limited I did. Lava Axe. Oh man. Uh I had Lava Axe in my first ever standard deck when I got into Magic around 8th edition, 7th, 8th edition when I got into the game. Lava Axe pretty fucking sweet. It's really good in limited too cuz this hits not not everything, but like fucking damn near. Pretty solid card. Pretty solid card. Um, Avalanche Riders. This is our first uncommon. It's 3 and a red. It's a 2/2. It's got Echo. It's unaffected by summoning sickness, and when it comes into play, destroy target land. So you either get to force a block, deal 2 damage, and blow up a land for 4 mana, and then if you want to keep the 2/2 around, you can. This is pretty sweet. 4 mana to keep the 2/2 around after you got all that is kind of whatever. Like this. This is one of the Echo cards I'm usually fine with just letting go, but it's still kind of neat. A Vishino Cutthroat. This is a 5/3 for 4 mana. Holy crap! It's unaffected by summoning sickness, and then it returns. Okay, so it's not super great. I remember Lava Axe from the original Pokemon days in 1999, and some kids were getting into Magic by extension. I thought it was pretty cool back then, but kind of unplayable even in Commander. Yeah, it's not good in Commander, but in Limited, it's still pretty decent. Outside of Limited, yeah, it's not great. It's just a limited card for the most part, but there's certain like standards back in the day. It was pretty decent, and like I said, in Limited, removals at a premium, so that's not even a terrible rate for limited removal. Vishino Cutthroat's kind of interesting. It's a repeatable ball lightning that's more expensive, but it's repeatable. So Knighthood. All creatures you control gain first strike for 3 mana. Not terrible if you're doing White Weenie. It's a good White Weenie support card. Of course, a lot of the White Weenie cards already have first strike, but if they don't, you can use Knighthood. All right, let's see. Is our rare any good? Wheel of Torture. It's overpriced. The rack. It's the rack. During each of your opponent's upkeeps, Wheel of Torture deals 1 damage to that player for each card fewer than 3 in his or her hand. Yeah, it's just the rack that costs 3 mana instead of 1. Decent, but I would just get the rack unless you really want a lot of this effect. You can cast it with Mishra's Workshop though. That's pretty neat. All right. Let's crack this onslaught quick. Mistform Dreamer. 2-1. Yada yada. 8 racks. Yeah. Yep. Information Dealer. Alright. A Fetto Dredging. Return up to 3 target creatures from your any creature type to your graveyard to your hand. It's alright. There's a mob in Adventure that has a rack lock deck, and I hate it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Getting rack locked does kind of fucking suck. Crown of Ascension. All right. Profane Prayers. Deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life, where X is the number of clerics you have in play. Interesting, decent if you're running clerics, but most of the tribal, or I guess kinship, I think is the word they use now. Most of that's not particularly good, especially for the clerics. Nosy Goblin. It's a 2-1 for 3 mana, and you can sacrifice face down creatures. Yeah, more. Hell yeah. Ascending Aven, it's 3-2 with flying, has more, it can only block creatures with flying, it's 4 mana. Not great. How are Kraken packs going tonight? Not terrible. We haven't gotten any, like, I guess the best hit we got was Mishra's Workshop, which was pretty decent, and I did hit 1 dual land. Lonely Sandbar is nice. I love the art on this one. Oh, Heather Hudson did this. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's very pretty. But it's been going pretty good. Battering Craighorn. It's first strike, 3-1, 4 mana. Pretty rough rate, but is what it is. Demystify. This one is destroy target enchantment for 1 white mana. Not quite as good as the Exile one we just opened, but still pretty decent. Then we have Leery Fogbeast. Whenever Leery Fogbeast becomes blocked, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. That's actually really solid on a 4-2 for 3. Obviously not really a constructed thing, but in standard, or in limited rather, that's pretty decent. I think I found a bug in Forge where I lose all the time. Huh. Interesting. Have you tried resetting the computer? Or complaining on the internet? That's usually what I do. You should go on r/arena and complain that the shuffler is rigged. Even Fate Shifter. 6 mana for a 4/5 with flying. Then you can put the top 4 cards in any order. That's pretty decent. And then you can pay to do that again if you want. That's pretty cool. You tried building a better deck. To be fair, in adventure mode, you start with a pile. It's pretty hard. You have to, in my opinion, in Forge, the best like start is just to focus on drafts and try to win those, and then hope you get lucky with your drafts and with the packs that you get. Haven Brigader. I fucking love this thing. This art is so funny. It's applying all other birds get +1/+1, and all other soldiers also get +1/+1. I remember being kind of impressive in Shandalar. Yeah, they both of the games that the early game is super fucking oppressive. It's very very variance based. This card is so funny to me. Like, who is building a bird slash soldier deck? Fantastic. It's a shame that it's not a legendary creature. Yeah, look at that guy. This is fantastic. I love this. This one's great. All right. Let's speed this up a little bit so that we can maybe play some games tonight too. All right. Stronghold discipline, yada yada. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Days. We got a Days. Sam the Eagle. Hey, Darth. Yeah, good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. We just opened a Days. Flame Rift. Not bad. 4 damage to each player. It's definitely uses for that. It's a decent rate. Trickster Mage. Discard a card from your hand to tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. Goes infinite with Time Vault. So I like Trickster Mage. There's funny things you can do here. Seal of Doom. It's 3 mana. It's a enchantment. You can sacrifice it to destroy target non-black creature that can't be regenerated. Pretty decent and limited. Blastoderm. Fading 3. And it can't be the target of spells or abilities, and it's 4 mana for a 5/5. Pretty decent. Belby's Percher. It's a 2/2 for 3 mana with flying, and it can only block creatures with flying. Yeah, Blastoderm is pretty sick. Spiteful Bully. This is a 3/3 for 2 mana, and it deals 3 damage to target creature you control. That's pretty neat. Kind of build a roundy, but pretty cool. You got to be careful because if it's the only creature, it'll just take itself out. Vicious Hunger, 2 black mana to deal 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. So it's just a cheap little drain life, which is pretty decent. This is probably really good and limited. Wrathy Intimidator. It's a 2/1 for 3 mana. It can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures, so it has fear. That's pretty neat. And you can search your library for a mercenary card. Yeah, mercenaries. Those are good. Reverent Silence. Destroy all enchantments. If you control a forest, you may have each player gain 6 life instead of playing the mana cost for it. Oh, that's kind of neat. Flowstone Armor. You may choose not to untap it. And you pay 3, tap it, target creature gets +1/-0 as long as Flowstone Armor remains tapped. Opened so much Nemesis back in the day. Hell yeah, dude. If I started taking Magic seriously a year prior, I could have been opening Urza's Legacy. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Nemesis is sweet. I don't play too much of it, but Nemesis is pretty fucking sweet. So is using it good because it yes, yeah. I mean they can still counter it while you're casting it. But yes. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. They also can't remove it. So if they because it's a instant speed effect. If you cast it and then they like go to disenchant it, you can in response to them disenchanting it, you can sack it and blow something up. That's the same problem Recurring Nightmare has. It's like banking a murder. Yeah. Stampede. Oh, I didn't look at this. Discard a card from your hand. Creatures you control get +1/+1, and gain trample until end of turn. Neato. Yeah, seems pretty good actually. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Rusting Golem is a 4 mana star with fading 5. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of fading counters on it. Yeah, cool. So it's a 5/5, and then by the time you can attack with it, it's a 4/4, then a 3/3. It's funny how long it took them to figure out attach when enchantments were a thing. Yeah, yeah. When did equipment come out? Was that in Mirrodin or was it later than that? I don't think there was any. I don't think there's any old border equipment. I could be wrong on that. Um, but I don't think Mirrodin was the first set. Yeah, is what I thought. All right, what's our rare? Did we get anything good? We got Flowstone Slide. It's X2 and 2 red. All creatures get +X/-X until end of turn. Not great, but not awful. All right. Scourge. Let's open a booster Scourge. Carrion Feeder. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What a hit. There's like 5 old border cards that are equipments, but they just don't attach. Are you talking about stuff like Tawnos's weapon, like Tawnos's wand and like stuff like that? Because they were doing pseudo equipment from like the second set. There might even be something in alpha that I'm not thinking about. But they did do like stuff that's kind of like equipment, but they didn't have the equipment type, and they didn't attach like auras do. It's kind of funny because the longer Magic goes, the closer or enchantments and artifacts get to each other. Um, Mercurial Kite. The 2/2 for 3 mana flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature. It doesn't untap. Oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah, they just some of them don't and they buff your creatures. Some of them don't get destroyed with the monster. Most of them don't, but there are some of. I think there is at least one that says if that creature gets destroyed, this also gets destroyed. But yeah, there was spiritual equipment from like pretty much the second set. Helm of Chet. Yeah, that's it. That's the one in Alpha. Yeah. What do you mean just gives banding until the end of turn? Banding's pretty good. This is Scorn for Eagletus is so funny to me. The 1/1 that costs 8 mana, but you could pay 3 to have it be a 2/2 and then morph it. I think the idea of this is just to get them to assume it's not a card that sucks, which is kind of funny, but this is pretty funny. Scornful Egotist, my beloved. The art on this goes fucking hard. Unspeakable Symbol. I don't know that card off the top of my head. I'll admit I'm not as familiar with these sets as I am with the earlier ones. I will be eventually, but as of now I am not. Unburden. Target player discards 2 cards. It's Hymn to Torak, but probably fairly costed. And it's not random, so it's less good than Hymn to Torak. So maybe it's not fairly costed. The cycling's nice though. Oh, I see what you're saying, Hush. Yeah. Black enchantment that lets you pay 3 life to add plus. That sounds pretty decent. Uh, this is kind of okay. Them choosing the discard kind of sucks for you, but it does make discard more. I don't want to say fun, but less not fun to play against. And the cycling on this is nice because once their hands are empty, you don't need this anymore. It's kind of fucking funny. Chartooth Cougar 4/4, and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it's got mountain cycling. Hell yeah, what a card. Is the guy in Unburdened the same guy as in Tendrils? It very well might be. It very well might be. Uh, that's Head Buzzard. Ooh, man, that's a creepy looking thing. That's very cool. This is a 2/1 for 1 and 2 black. It is flying, and when it is put into a graveyard from play, all creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Fucking sick. Hell of a card. That's awesome. Vengeful Death. That's 3/2. When this or another zombie is put into the graveyard from play, each opponent loses 1 life. Nice. Drain strategy. That's not bad. Goblin War Strike. Hell yeah, I love Goblin War Strike. Goblin War Strike deals damage equal to the number of goblins you control the target player. What a fucking card. Rush of Knowledge. Draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. Oh, hey, I found the combo. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's why this is that. All right. It's all coming together. Daru yeah, the art in this set is pretty good. It's pretty fantastic. I also like what they've done with the blue border especially. I'm not sure like the difference, but it's much cleaner than it is in the earlier sets. Daru Spiritualist is a cleric. It's 1/1 for 2 mana, and whenever a cleric you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +0/+2 until end of turn. Ah, neat. That's some synergy. Combo piece with Endcur creatures. Yeah, good to know. Skull Tap. As an additional spell, or as an additional cost to play this, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. Not terrible. The evolution of the creatures on each color in this block was awesome. Noted. Like I said, I don't know these sets as particular anywhere near as well as I know the earlier ones. Carbonize. 2 in a red. Carbonize deals 3 damage to target creature or player. That creature can't be regenerated this turn. If that creature would be put into a graveyard this turn, remove it from the game instead. Decent. I want to know more about the programs they used to make the borders and card frames and stuff. I think they just used they used the typesetting software to put everything like where it was. The original the original frames were like made by hand, I think. Jesper Meerfers and Christopher Rush did all of the like mana symbols and stuff. And for the frames, I think they just used like marbling techniques and stuff and like created it and then yeah, and then booted it into MS Paint. The gist of it is that the creatures on each color evolved from their original types. Wizards became the creatures that you could disguise. Ah, neat. Scourge felt at the time like it was over reaching in some of its design aims, but it was always fun to crack it back and run into weird stuff because of that. Yeah, that makes sense. Clerics became wood-like creatures and so on. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know much of the lore here. I have like gone through these sets on Scryfall once or twice, but that's not enough to like remember everything. Um, it is it is Magic is really coming into its own on the art and stuff. Like I prefer the earlier art. Some of this is a little too realistic. Not all of it. Those are bad examples. Uh, but I do prefer the earlier out. But some of this is really sick. The details are incredible. 1/1 zombie. Zombie spells you play cost 1 less to cast, and they get +2/+1. Pretty solid. Pretty solid as far as lords go. Got a Goblin War Chief. Hell yeah. Goblins have haste, and goblin spells cost 1 less to play. Very cool. Alright, what's our rare? Parallel Thoughts. Hey, I know this one. When Parallel Thoughts comes into play, search your library for 7 cards, remove them from the game in a face-down pile, and shuffle that pile. Then shuffle your library. If you would draw a card, you may instead put the top card of the pile you removed into your hand. I ran this for a while in a Niv Mizzet Perun commander deck that was trying to get the Curiosity or Ophidian or what's the fucking creature? It's not, um, I forget. Anyway, one of those combo pieces. I tried this for a while. It didn't end up working, but it's kind of neat. I do like this character. This guy is really funny to me. I appreciate that. All right, 4 packs left. Let's bust these open. This one's Invasion. Fire Screamer. Neat. Yeah, 2/2 with 3 and a black. Pay a red to give it +1. Not bad. Hey, Rebecca Guavart. Rebecca does so fucking good. I like her art. Protective Sphere. 1 and pay 1 life, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn by a source of your choice that shares a color with the mana spent on this activation cost. Wow, that sucks. The art's really great, though. Ancient Spring. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the tap lands that you can sack to add the ally colors. Oh, we're in the Kavus. I love the Kavus. That's the only mono black. Yeah, I mean, it has red in the cost, but it is black as far as, like, the color of the card. Vicious Charge, with a white kicker. Is Invasion the first kicker? Or was kicker before this? I don't think so. I think Invasion might be the first kicker. That's kind of neat. The Kavus are awesome. What is it? Flame Tongue Kavu is such a fucking great card. Target creature gains trample till end of turn whenever the creature deals damage. This turn, if you paid the kicker cost, you gain life equal to the damage. Oh, that's not bad. The rate on this is pretty solid. That's not terrible. All right, what are you? Holy Day. They reprinted Holy Day from Legends. Because it's just the white fog. Quirion Sentinel. Oh yeah. The Curians, I don't know how that's pronounced. Whenever this comes into play, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Oh, so it's a 2/1 that technically costs 1, but you can't play it unless you have the 2 mana. That's kind of neat. Ardent Soldier. This is a 1/2 with kicker. It doesn't tap. If you paid the kicker cost, it is a 3 or a 2/3. That's neat. Was the kicker too? Yeah, that's not bad. Voldalian Zombie. Ooh. Fancy. It's got protection from green. It's a merfolk zombie. Yeah. It's 2/2 for 2 with protection from green. How cool is that? Dismantling Blow. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. And if you pay the kicker cost, draw 2 cards. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Aggressive Urge. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and draw a card. Not terrible. Not terrible. Love this card. Which one? Aggressive Urge, Dismantling Blow, or Vidalian Zombie? When I started playing Magic, it was OG Zendikar block, and my roommate at the time had been playing a long time and couldn't believe they had brought back Kicker. Hell yeah. Dismantling Blow? Yeah, Dismantling Blow is pretty cool. Hell of a control card. Repulse. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Very funny. Very funny. 3 mana's, I would grumble about paying that, but in limited, it's pretty good. If they paid more than 3 mana for the creature, it's especially funny. Might Weaver, pay 2, target red or white creature gains trample until end of turn. Neato. Goblin Spy. Hell yeah. Goblin Spy. I love the art on this. Yeah, play with the top card of your library revealed. Backlash. Tap target untapped creature. That creature deals damage equal to its power to its controller. Hell yeah. Pretty solid. And our rare is Crypt Angel. So 3/3 for 4 and a black. Flying, protection from white. When it comes into play, return target blue or red creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Neat. Not especially great or anything, but it's pretty cool. It's a really cool set. What do we got? We have a Scourge, we got an Apocalypse, and a 7th edition. Let's bust open the Scourge. Reap in the Graves. The art on this is fucking sick. Oh, hey, we got a Storm card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Storm. Not a great Storm card, but it's neat. Misguided Rage. Target player sacrifices a permanent. Why can't this have Storm? Come on, guys. No, that's decent, I guess. It's not great. 3 mana and they can sack a land. Torrent of Fire. Torrent of Fire deals damage equal to the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control to target creature or player. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Not terrible. Unburden. Saw that. Still pretty cool. Twisted Abomination. It's a 5/3. You can regenerate it. It's got Swamp Cycling for 5 and a black. It's pretty good for limited. Hell yeah, dude. Glad you found a card. Reap in the Grave is just yeah, yeah, it is just what I imagine. Yeah, it's a cool card, especially cool in Commander too. And people are gonna be like, hell yeah. Goblin Brigand attacks each turn if able, and it's a 2/2 for 2. Yeah, pretty decent. Noble Templar. It has Vigilance. It's a 3/6 for 5, and it has Plane Cycling. Yeah, not terrible. Frozen Solid. Enchanted creature doesn't untap. When damage is dealt to enchanted creature, destroy it for 3 mana. Yeah, it's alright. Little pricey, but not terrible. Accelerated Mutation, 3 and 2 green. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. Pretty neat. Twisted Abominate, should being awesome in Pauper Commander. Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty solid there, I would guess. Coast Watcher, 1/1 flying protection from green for 2 mana. Yeah, pretty standard rate. Ooh, another Death's Head Buzzard. Pretty solid card in my opinion, and the art goes fucking hard as fuck. What is that, Marcelo Vignali? We're to the point where I like don't recognize like any of these artists. Oh, Edward P. Beard Jr. I know him. Ron Spencer, obviously. Yeah, that's about all I noticed. Fremen's Aura. It's our first uncommon. It's 1 and 2 blue. Untap enchanted creature for a blue. Enchanted creature gains flying until end of turn for a blue. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn for blue. Or enchanted creature gets +1/-1 or -1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, so it's a modular kind of thing. That's pretty neat. Whoa, that's pricey. Is this card like good? Doesn't seem that good. Well, this is pretty much the end of Old Border after all, right? Yeah, Scourge is part of Onslaught and Judgment, right? So yes. Claws of Wirewood deals 3 damage to each creature with flying and each player. What? Green Burn? They brought it back? Hell yeah. And it has cycling. I like this. I like this card. This is pretty cool. Wirewood Symbiote. This is an insect. It's a 1/1 for 1 green mana. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Play this ability only once each turn. Yeah, well, it's probably pretty good even if you only can do it once each turn. That's pretty cool. And what did we get? Did we open the same rare? we opened 2 Scourge packs and we got the same rare. All right. Oh, we're almost done. All right, let's open this Apocalypse booster. Tundra Kavu. Nice. Target land becomes a plains or island until end of turn. Yeah, fuck them. Pemin's Aura is an anagram of I am Superman because it gives the creature Morphling's abilities and Morphling's nickname was Superman. Huh, that's neat. What are the numbers? Is that what you can sell the card in the game for? Yeah, the number at the bottom is how much the card can sell for. And I think you can, if you click this, it just auto sells it. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, the number tells you how valuable it is in the game. And I'm on the standard difficulty, so if you find it in a shop to buy it, it's twice the price. So if I wanted to buy Soul Link here, it would cost me 100 coins. Soul Link is whenever enchanted creature deals or is dealt damage, you gain that much life. It's decent. Dwarven Landslide. We kind of skipped over this. Kicker, you can pay 2 in a red and sacrifice a land. Oh, this better be great. 4 mana, destroy target land. If you paid the kicker cost, destroy another target land. Hell yeah. Yeah, it auto sells if you mark them. Neato. Uh, Manacles of Decay. This enchanted creature can't talk. Can't attack. It's one for one a white, and you can pay a black to give it -1 until end of turn. And that card's Spirit Link, but just more mana. Yeah, yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, this is Soul Link. That's Spirit Link. To be fair, Spirit Link is kind of cracked. In limited, this is pretty decent. Although this does more, because Spirit Link is only when they attack. So, like, if you deal damage to them and you get healing from that, so technically this heals you more. Enchanted creature can't block, or enchanted creature gets -1/-1, and it can't. Yeah, that's decent. It's just kind of shittier passivism, but you can then you can pay extra mana to do extra things. It's like this is a perfectly fine rate, like for limited. Hey, Land of War Dead. I like this one. Not super great, because it's a mana dork that you got to pay 2 for, which is not ideal, especially if it's only tapping for 1 mana. But it is a 2/2, so you know survives some things that otherwise wouldn't. And the art goes pretty hard. I like this card. Ana Disciple. 1/1 for a green, and you can pay the blue to give target creature flying, or you can pay the black to give target creature -2/-0. How exciting! Reef Shaman targets land type, becomes the basic land type of your choice until end of turn. Yeah, if you got any Island Walk, it's pretty sweet. Gaia's Skyforge. Oh, it's a 2/2 with flying for a green and a blue. That's actually not bad, especially since it's an elf and a merfolk. Neato. Neato. Bloodfire Dwarf. It's a 1/1 for 1 red mana. You can pay a red and sacrifice Bloodfire Dwarf. Bloodfire Dwarf deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. Hell yeah. That's not bad. Savage Gorilla. A blue and a black. Sacrifice Savage Gorilla. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Draw a card. Yeah, that's not terrible. Is the elf from the dark? You mean Elves of Deep Shadow? Yes. Well, that's arguable. Elves of Deep Shadow deals a damage to you when you tap it to add a black mana. So saying strictly better is, and also this is a 2/2 and that's a 1/1. So no, it's Elves of Deep Shadow is what it's called. Yeah, this is the Elves of Deep Shadow is a way fucking better card because it's 1 mana and it taps for mana and stuff like that. But it does deal damage to you and is a 1/1. This is a 2/2, so I would say strictly different. Um, However, I would put Elves of Deep Shadow in the deck long before I put Land of War Dead in the deck. Whenever a player plays a blue spell, this gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it's a 4/4 for 6 mana. Not bad, not bad. If you're playing with blue cards. Gaia's Balance has an additional cost to play Gaia's Balance, sacrifice 5 lands. Alright, I do not know what the rest of this card does, but it better be fucking sick, because we paid 4 mana and we've sacked 5 lands. Search your library for a land card of every basic land type and put them into play, then shuffle your library. That sucks. I mean, it's good color fixing, I guess, if you're trying to play a green. Not great. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty decent in Commander, I guess, if you're 5 color and like don't have a really good land. Like if you're not playing with the old busted expensive lands, don't have great color fixing. Maybe this is okay there, but anywhere else is kind of. I mean, the color fixing in limited is pretty good if you were to play one of every. Uh, yeah, I guess you could combine it with Collation Victory. That's true. That's true. You would still need to get out a permanent of every color, though. Oh yeah, split cards. Split cards. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for night. 1 mana, or day, 2 and a white. Creatures target player control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. How fun. That's a cost to get sacrificed. If it gets countered, you're screwed. Yeah, that's another problem that I didn't even mention because you have to sack the 5 lands as the cost. So yeah, if this gets countered, you're just totally fucked. Another Rebecca Gua card though. I like her art. It's fantastic. Moving on, Dodecapod. Right? Dodecapod? Yeah, Dodecapod. This is a 4 mana 3/3. If a spell or an ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Dodecapod from your hand, put it into play with 2+1/+1 counters on it instead of putting it in the grave. Fuck yeah. Yeah, be careful with it though, man. If it gets countered, you're fucked. But yeah, it's pretty solid for yo, it's last stand. Funny stuff. Ron Spencer illustrated this, lovely art, fantastic. 5 color card. Dodecapod always felt like I, I don't know, man. It's kind of fine. I think depends on how much like discarding and stuff. Isn't most of the discarding in this you choose, which I think makes this a little bit better. Anyways, last stand. Target opponent loses 2 life for each swamp you control. Last stand deals damage equal to the number of mountains you control to target creature. Put a 1/1 green sapperling creature token into play for each forest you control. You gain 2 life for each plains you control. Draw a card for each island you control, and then discard that many cards from your hand. What a card! Yeah, it would be fun in Commander. Like this is not really a playable card in 60 card. Yeah, there's also better cards you can play. Um, and also like it does so many little things, but it doesn't really do much of them. It's also like there's a lot of tension here with this card, right? Because it's like, yeah, you want a whole bunch of swamps, but also this is a 5 color fucking 5 mana spell, so you can't have a bunch of swamps. Like, why didn't you just win the game by this point? Cool cards though. Let's crack this 7th edition open real quick. I don't even know if there's anything worth getting in 7th edition, so we're just gonna do this quick. Stone Rain, pretty cool card. I do like the art on that Stone Rain. Tranquility, nice art on that. Cloud Chaser Eagle, flying. When it comes into play, destroy target enchantment. This is actually not bad. Kind of a limited card, but it's not bad. Fog, yup, classic. Neat Forest, having all the original ABU duels in play makes it half decent. Yeah, that's true, but having all of the original ABU duels in play makes most things decent. But yeah, it's all right then. Gorilla Chieftain. Oh yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. Reflexes, enchanted creature is first strike. I don't know this card, but it's all right, not great. Yeah, you're gay, you get it. Hey, it's Lava Axe again. Hell yeah. Circle of Protection blue. What? This art is lame. Bring back the face. Bring back the Ice Age art. Angelic Page. What is this? Flying target attacking. Okay, all right. Elves of Deep Shadow provides fixing important. Yeah, that's another good point that I didn't mention at all. Any of the mana dorks that tap for a color other than the mana they provide are way fucking better than like Llanowar elves and stuff like that. Llanowar elves and all of those do ramp you, which is really really good. But Elves of Deep Shadow specifically, like if you have any black spells and are mostly green, it helps with that. All swamps and then the dragon golems from the IPA block for fixing and still not getting the win. Yeah, well, you did everything you could, right? Hey, it's Saber-Tooth Tiger. Heck yeah. 2/1 with first strike for 3 mana. Fun stuff. Pyroclasm. Hell yeah. Pyroclasm's a great fucking card. Originally from Ice Age, 2 mana, deal 2 damage to every creature. Just fucking sick. Get through Fire Eater. Get through sacrifice Get through Fire Eater. Get through Fire Eater deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Hell yeah. Uh yeah, I think you're right there. Yep. Glacial Wall. Glacial Wall's kind of decent. This is just color shifted Wall of Ice from Alpha, which is funny. And then Early Harvest. Target player untaps all basic lands he or she controls for 1 and 2 green. Who's playing basic lands? Nice cards. Nice card interaction story with Gitu Fire Eater. Yeah, yeah, you could do that. That does make fire breathing a lot better. That's really neat. Yeah, all right, we did it. We busted through all of those. So let's. This takes me to the Dead Man's Rest. So let's run through the arena quick tonight before we call it a night. What are we at? 10:30? Yeah, we got a bit of time. So we'll run through the arena real quick. I am gonna when we could be playing the layers. Yeah, dude, the layers. The layers. I'm gonna refresh my coffee and then I will be right back and then we will take on the arena and see how well we can do in there. Is this is open all the time, right? Yeah, yeah. All right. So we'll do the arena after this. All right, I'll be back in just a little bit. You're having a rough week. I recruited Will with the mentality that we're gonna kill Carl. And I'm gonna be so sad. Okay, I'm probably gonna be half hour going to do this arena thing. It's only 3 matches, and it's using my deck, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Take your time. Oh. By the way, have you bought any of the talismans? I got the black one. I haven't found the other capitals yet, but I plan to. Coffee at 10:30 at night. Yeah, it's a terrible choice, but I make it sometimes. Anyway, let's do this whole thing. Do you want to go into the arena? Yes, I do. Oh no, not Brian Hacker from 98. My counter spell. Dude, come on, man. And what am I getting from you? Enchanted creature gets where X is boring. That's what we get. All right. Okay. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I can keep this. I can keep this. We are playing a very, very stupid 4-color deck with a lot of singleton. So, should be fun on a bun. Let's open Mishra Ivory Tower. Everybody loves seeing a factory into an ivory tower, turn 1. Everybody loves it. Bing. Bribery is pretty sweet. So we got control magic, bribery, lightning bolt. I guess we'll play out the city. Ooh, I shoulda. Nah, it's all right. It's all right. We'll take the damage. It's fine. It's a white knight. It's a white knight. Da, da. Alright, I guess let's just hang out for a bit, huh? Another white knight. Interesting that you didn't attack. Not that I'm complaining that you didn't attack, but it's interesting. What do you got? Another swords? Neato. Neato, neato. Oh, I'll just sit here and look at them for a bit. Protection from black and shadow. We'll cast the revised version. No, I think I want the life from. Oh, he's got another one of those. How is the computer's skill in this mode? I've had a couple of times playing decks I built in the non-story mode, and they'll like not do anything but play land sometimes. It gets confused. It's definitely not like it doesn't seem to have any sort of forward thinking. It can play the game fine, but it is not smart. What did he just do? Did it take damage? Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's not particularly smart or good at things. Oh, that's too far down. Okay. I guess we could control magic tonight. Or we could bribery. I mean, he's tapped out. Let's bribery. What do you got? You got anything big? So you got White Knights, Warriors, Soul Warden, Priest, Monk, Paladin, First Strike, Protection from... I guess we'll grab that, just because it's the biggest fucking creature he has. Yeah, what do you think of that, big guy? It is basic threat evaluation. Yeah, sometimes it gets confused with stuff like like it has trouble with like a tog and stuff like that. Um but yeah, it's not awful. It's decent enough, but there have been situations where it's um yeah, like I said, I don't want to like I don't want to say it's stupid or that it's badly made because Magic is an insanely fucking complicated game. I think it's really good. Um, but like for example, like it's casting the Soul Warden after it's casting the Paladin and Vec, which a human player would cast the Soul Warden first, you'd gain one more life. Um, unless it's like trying to bait removal. Um, it's not awful, but and in fact, it's like way better than I could come up with, obviously. Uh, but it definitely has some quirks. Do 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 do. Um. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take this. Thank you for your contribution. Ah, Tinker's pretty good. I had a game earlier where it locked me into a time vault. Hell yeah! Now that's real magic. Good old time loops, time vault loops. But it took a million turns for them to win. Understandable. Like it's a computer, so they are like um. It's likely that they get ba 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 like recursive. Is what I'm trying to say here. Fell down to game. Do. Okay, we'll cast that. We'll probably tinker next turn, but I'm gonna just blow this up because I'm tired of looking at it. And then we got. Is it? Oh, we're already in declare attackers. It's not worth. Um. Oh, you have shadow. Never mind. That's. What did I think that said? I didn't realize that had shadow. Okay, whatever. Suchi. Suchi's kind of interesting here. Anyway, Tinker's probably pretty good. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Feldon's cane. Do do do. Do 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 do. Triskellion's pretty funny. We'll get Triskelion out here. We'll remove our 3 tokens to deal 1 damage to all of those. Sorry, guys. Anyways, we'll just truck in. Hey, Matt Brady. Good to see you here. I think its most glaring issue right now is considering different options for a card that can be buffed like a target's probably so as to not overload the AI with choices. Yeah, I agree. Like I don't think I'm not complaining about any of the way that the AI is, but it is certainly like it's pretty good at playing the game. But it's definitely not like playing a player who is good at the game. Hell yeah, I'm glad you've been enjoying them. We just tinkered for a Triskelion so I could deal 1 damage to 3 different creatures, because that's how I roll. It's like the most optimal play in the world. Oh, I forgot we have Engineer Plague. I can't cast that right now anyways. I haven't seen any of my black sources. Do 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 do. So let's truck on in with the creatures we stole from him are Triskelion in our factories. I have no idea how you would even start to program or train an AI to play Magic. It's crazy. Like it's incredibly fucking complicated. Um, I know that Sid Meier did Shandalar, and I talked a little bit with one of the guys who worked on Shandalar as like I think he was the art lead. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. Um, but I asked him about it, and he said basically that the way that Sid figured it out was to basically force it to like calculate a train of thought all the way down and then do that again for every option it has and then look at how the option works and just do whichever one leaves it in the best position. um but it obviously these things can miss things and stuff like that, so like but yeah, it's fucking complicated. Anyone who puts any effort into this is just fucking brilliant, in my opinion. It's such a complicated game. The dual mode for Chandelure is actually pretty good to play against for what it is. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's pretty decent. Like if you're expecting like the type of games you would get against a tournament grinder or like a top player, you're going to be disappointed. But like, I mean, I think it's smarter than the average player I play at a LGS. No offense to average players at LGSs. Oh hey, we could do engineered plague now if we want to. Um, Let's make you lands into creatures. And let's truck in. Basically brute force. Yeah, brute force was the word I was looking for with how so it's likely that when they made this, they just kind of followed how Sid Meier did it, because that's how Sid Meier did it, is brute forcing. Yeah, well, there's only so far you can go in any way that you would do it, but my biggest beef of with Forge is its use of AI and AI art. He uses AI art? Huh. I did not know that. I guess it makes sense. I'm not really a fan of that kind of stuff, but I guess it is what it is. It's still an incredibly awesome rules engine that you can play for free. It's open source, so you can actually go and look at the code for this AI. Yeah, for sure, but that would involve me having to understand how any of that works. Contract from below. It's probably a little late to rip that. I would assume it's the stuff like the backgrounds and stuff like that. Um, we got him. And we got this card. We're selling that. Oh, it's a best of one. Hell yeah. All right. We're on to round two. We're facing Kaibood 99. All right. Oh, my Maze of Ith, man. Versus, fucking Masticore. All right. Oh, what do we got here? We got Mishra's Workshop, Mana Vault, Plateau, Mishra's Factory, Volcanic Island, Land Cap, Strip Mine. Probably got a mulligan this. Two islands, mana drains, or an orb, swords, plowshare, battlefield. This is probably okay. Man, what do I fucking put? I probably have to put the bribery back. We'll put the bribery back. I will keep. City of Traders. Interesting open. Fucking hate it here, man. Come on. Are you kidding me? Okay. Yeah. What are you brought? Oh, okay. Okay, you Grim Monolith into a second Grim Monolith for your Thran Dynamo. Holy fuck, dude. I don't know if I kept the right hand, man. You fire diamond. Let's fucking go, bro. That's it. That's all you got. That's what you're doing with your turn. All right, I'm gonna play a Zeranorb. How you feel about that, Chief? Um, Dude, I could probably mana drain something fucking sick as shit if he figures out how to fucking get all this going. Well, even if he has a time to it, he's got one. Well, he can't. He doesn't have any blue. This is gonna be. It's gonna be a bit. Yeah. All right. Oh, he played a second City of Traders. Holy shit! I like this guy's deck. I like this guy's deck. Play something I can mana drain. Do or don't. I need to draw something to use the. Okay, so he's untapping the Grim Monolith, and he's tapping the Grim Monolith, and the Thrawn to untap. Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, Fucking A. And he's got a mountain out now, and there goes the City of Trader. That was fun. That was fantastic. These are the situations where the AI gets fucking confused. And to be fair, it's hard to blame it. But this is the stuff that I'm talking about when I say that it's not like super great. It just occasionally gets caught up in shit, and then does that. Oh man, our battle will be legendary. Oh sweet, we got another mana drain. I really do need to all right, City of Brass. I got all day, man. Worn Power Stone. Fucking obelisk of undoing. I forgot I put that in here. It's for Triskelion loops. Don't laugh at me. It's like, yes, it is. It's very, very funny. It's very, very funny. We're having a good time here. All right. This is fucking terrifying. When you control no artifacts. Ah, man, I gotta mana drain that. I can't let you do that. I'm sorry. This has been fun, but I can't have you hit me in the face with that. Man, I haven't drawn anything I can use that mana on. Come on, dude. We might have to just swords to plowshare the next thing though, so I can keep. Oh, scroll rack. Nah, dude. Nah, dude. I'm mana draining that. Get out of here. It's not the card we need to draw right now. Okay. There's like three demonic tutors in this fucking deck. Can I please draw something? Oh, there's his third monolith. Man, if he hits a fireball, I'm fucking cooked, dude. Yeah, this is the old card pool, but there is no mana burn because this is a rules engine. Like Forge for the most part is a rules engine thing, and it's just the standard new age Magic rules, and it's also technically all the cards use their errata too. Um, Chance of AI actually knowing how to use Curse Scroll. I don't know, but I didn't want to take the risk. To be fair, it is probably a little hasty of me, but especially if he fucking hits me with, because if he finds a fireball, I'm just fucking cooked, I think. Um, well, he hasn't found one yet, but we did. Um, he hasn't done anything. I haven't drawn any of the cards I need. Oh, maybe. All right, there we go. Ba, 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 ba. Um, okay, well, you don't have anything I can swords. I don't even know, like, maybe dragon is ways to be doing that. I also don't have the mana to do that. I guess I can. You know what? I'm just gonna rip it. We're just gonna rip it. What do we got here? All right, we got strip mine. Like, control magic might come in handy later. I should really be running a single fucking Shatterstorm. I don't know if I actually have any way of dealing with any of what he's doing over there. Ba 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 ba. Da, 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 da. I don't have any black sources, so I can't even. Da, da, da. Oh, we did draw our Arabian Nights Mountain though. That's pretty neat, and we have two lightning bolts. How many cards do I have? It's 63, I think. It's just if you had a Shatterstorm. No, it's like a bunch of demonic tutors and a bunch of dumb singleton. If you go into the classic settings, which apply the adventure mode, it's unintuitive. You can turn on mana burn. Yes, you can. I don't think I did turn on mana burn. What did I turn on in? You can even revert to the old mulligan rules. That's fucking cool. Oh hey, man, it's you. What's up? Welcome, welcome. We're having a blast. You can't revert cards to pre-errata though. Yeah, well, how the fuck would you even like code that? That doesn't seem fucking. That does not seem easy to do. In any way, shape, or form. But that's okay. Um, where was I? What was I doing? Okay, I don't have any more black sources. Played my land. I guess there's no reason to hold up mana, so I might as well put out the Suchi. Might as well put out the Suchi. Eat a Suchi. And also, fuck your mountain. Please do not draw your fireball. What about the old interrupt rule or instance? Nah, they wouldn't be able to do that either. Dude, if he draws that fireball, I'm so fucking cooked. Um... Unsummon really isn't what I wanted either. Okay. Armageddon doesn't do much for me here. Balance doesn't do anything. Bribery's kind of interesting. There was a damage on a stack, but apparently it's hard to implement here. Yeah, I'm sure any little changes. Da da da. I probably just have to get a counter spell so that I don't die immediately to um yeah. We're just gonna grab the counter spell. We're just gonna hold on to that. We sent 1 minute. It happens. All right. I think we just sit and look at him until he draws a fireball. I don't know what else to really do here. Oh, was I summoning? I just cast a Suchi that. No, I could have attacked. Okay. Whoops. Oh, that's what's going on. I keep hitting end turn because I'm dumb. I've missed our land drop. Can we go back? Tundra. Um, an ancient tube. I like this guy's deck. I like the cut of his jib here. Take 4 from Suchi, you asshole. I guess we might as well start pinging you down, huh? Take a lightning bolt. Uh, take a second one. You, dude. All right. Da-da-da. Which enemy is this? We are in the Black Capital doing the arena. How do you get Tundra? How I get most of my dual lands is from specifically revised drafts. Is how I got most of them. I don't know that I've ever actually seen a duel in the shop, but I would imagine they are probably 1,000 gold. I think, but I don't know that I've seen it. Yeah, we're doing the arena. It's round 2. Was Have I played my land this turn? I had not played my land this turn. Okay, let's get out of here. Homeland's drafting right now, and this shit is bad. Yeah, Homelands is pretty rough. Is it just pure Homelands, or is it like Homelands and revised or fourth edition? I think it's matched with fourth. I can't remember. It's matched with one of the core sets. Is it just straight Homelands, or is it Homelands and something else? Just straight Homelands is pretty rough. Oh, it is with fourth. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? What was going on? Okay, you are just waiting to draw your fireball. Can I? Okay, so we will do that one. We will do the red. And we'll keep I guess we could just keep yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Get the Yoshin out there. Truck on in with the Suchi. The creatures before the yeah. Definitely grab as many creatures for that as you can. Yeah. I do need to remember to attack with the Suchi, but we got her that time. We got her. Plus, we're holding up a counter spell, so wildfire. Not what I was expecting. What do I have for lands? Also kills my Suchi. Problem is if I use a counter spell, I could be like super fucked later. Um. Oh yeah, yeah. I could unsummon the Suchi. I agree. That's probably the smart thing to do. We're gonna unsummon the Suchi. We'll tap this fucking dingus. Suchi back in. 4 damage. Sack 4 lands. Goodbye, Arabian Mountain. Goodbye, Land Cap. Goodbye, Battlefield Forge. And I guess this island would be correct. Okay. Yeah, Mana Vault. Yeah. I need to hold up the 2 for the counter spell, so this does 1 day. Yeah, I can do that. Um, okay. We'll cast the Mana Vault. We'll cast the Suchi. Dealing a bunch of damage to ourselves. But we have the counter spell up, so unless he like... And he doesn't have any colored mana right now, so... That should keep us okay. Not the curse scroll. We're gonna let that happen, because it's 2 turns. Because I only need to hit him like 3 times, so... Twice if I like draw another lightning bolt. No, I will not pay that. That's okay. Thank you for asking. Oh! Or we could just... So here's an idea. He does have the fire diamond. Yeah, he does. He does have the colored mana. But that's okay. We will tinker. Um, or can we tinker? I think we need another land before we can tinker. We're not gonna tinker. I talked myself out of it. I can't go down to 1 blue. We'll just truck in. We're winning the race right now, so it's not like it's a problem. Did you cast another Voltaic? Yeah. Alright, that's not an issue at all. We will not pay that. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know that Snap does anything for us here, so we will just truck right in. Would be kind of funny to control magic that, but we're just going to counter that and just win next turn. And there we go. What a game. What a game. Oh, hey, we have a Manticore now. That's fancy. Masticore. Masticore is what I mean there. One Tikas Dragon in the deck would be really funny for Tinker. Yeah, if when I get one, that's possibly the plan. Oh no. Not my Yoshin. Okay, so what do we got here? We have Lands, Obelisk of Undoing, Swords of Plowshare, Balanced, Island, Fallon's Cane, Millstone. I don't know that Balance is gonna be super great against anything, and we also can't fucking cast anything. Well, we cast the Obelisk here. We're gonna mulligan. Force Spike Factory, Memory Jar, Mishra's Workshop, Maze of Ith, Nap, and City of Brass. What do we get rid of here? Man, that's fucking tough. What do I get rid of here? Um, mm, is it the Maze of It? Let's see. The Force Spikes are gonna be really nice. We'll just fucking counter the first thing that he fucking does. Mishra's Workshop or the Memory. Snap? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right. Although we can snap and get our Mishra's Workshop. The thing is we can snap if he's playing. Problem is I don't know what he's playing, but if we snap, we can maybe like Mishra's Workshop twice into Memory Jar, which is pretty good. No, we'll get rid of the snap. I don't fucking know. Yeah, we'll keep Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. It's the same deck. All right, snap was the right one. Yeah, it's the same deck. All right. Okay. Now I'm not sure if I want a memory jar. That does mean the Maze of Ith is pretty fucking useless here. Alright. Interesting. Oh, hey, it's Fireball. Might come in handy later. I think we just reach this factory and look at him. Of course, this also means the force spike is pretty useless now. I mean, if he goes like X equals everything to fireball me, I guess it's not useless. Um, Wildfire. Oh man, I don't know if I can. I can't do anything about that. Maybe he just won't. Well, I guess I might as well because this will do 2 damage to him, which gets him down. We're gonna force spike here. Yeah, we'll tap that. Oh, did he have? Oh, he had mana in his mana pool. All right. Sacrifice 4 lands. Fuck you, dude. That's well. If we draw one more land, we can get the Suchi out and start doing beats. That's super cool, but that's not what I needed right now, man. Uh, um, Temporal Aperture. All right. Oh, bad card to draw, dude. Bad card to draw. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you taking off, dude? Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good day. Hey, we did it. Let's go. You're gonna get so fucking trucked on, dude. How many lands are in your deck? Mine? I think it's 26. It's 25 or 26. But I'm also running like 3 Demonic Tutor, a couple of Contract from Belows, and some other stuff. It's fine. The land count's okay. Plus, I needed to make room for Triskelion and Obelisk of Undoing. Hey, there's the Demonic Tutor, which we cannot cast right now, but that's okay. Do 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 do. See? Enough lands to win. That's how many are in my deck. And we won a Fire Diamond. Which is a pretty cool card. I like that deck. That was fun. In a 60-ish card deck. Well, I think mine right now is incorrectly like 64 cards. Yeah, of course it went quick. How much are you supposed to put in? It depends on like a lot of things, like what your mana curve is and like that, but around 25 is generally correct-ish. In like a 40 card deck, it's usually like yeah, aggro decks goes 20. I know in like 40 cards it's usually like you can justify 16 if you are super low curve, but generally it's 17, potentially 18. And then yeah. Yeah. All right. We did it. We did it, guys. What did we get for our trouble? We got a Toxin Sliver. Neat. We got a final punishment. Target player loses life equal to the damage already dealt to him or her this turn. Neato. And we got some monies. And we got Draconian Necklace. Pay 2 life and discard at random to regenerate creature. Oh, that's kind of neat. For 40 card drafts, you should aim for 17 if you're having like a standard mana curve. In Commander, 36 to 38 is common, but technically you should be playing 42 to 43. If you want to be mathematically correct about it. Well, that was quite fun. Here, we can look at the deck that I'm running. And so we got 4 white cards. We got 2 swords, an Armageddon, and a balance. Blue, we're running 4 spike, 1 unsummon, 2 snaps, a counterspell, or 2 counterspells, 2 mana drain, 1 tinker, 2 control magic, and a bribery. And then our black is 2 contracts, 3 demonic tutors, and an engineered plague. This is only in here for I have to fight one of my quests is to fight the Thalid guy, and I'm suspecting that the king of the Thalids probably has a lot of Thalids. 42 to 43, no shit, really. I might need to modify. Like, it depends on, like, what your commander deck is doing. Me, personally, I have run commander decks that have had as little as, I think, 26 was the smallest, and as high as 54, depending on, like, what the deck is trying to do, how much it cares about land, and how much, like the deck that was 26 was also running, like this was when Jeweled Lotus was available, and it was running Mana Crypt and all kinds of shit like that, and it was Kirk, so it was all mono black. So it really varies on what you're trying to do, and also like what bracket you're in. If you're in a lower bracket, like you can run a few less lands. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, and then 3 lightning bolts and a fireball, and then here's we're running Zero Orb, Strip Mines, Volcanic Island, Maze of Ith, Mishra's Factory, few tundras, plateau, more Mishra's Factory, couple islands, another strip mine, couple more islands, another Mishra's Factory, land cap, wasteland, 3 city of brass, battlefield forge, Arabian Night Mountain, Badlands, Mishra's Workshop, and another strip mine. And then we have the Obelisk of Undoing, Feldon's Cane, Mana Vault, Ivory Tower, Millstone in case it comes to that, a couple Yoshins, or Juggernaut, a couple Suchi, Jamende Tome, Memory Jar, and of course Triskelion. Oh man, I suddenly have the urge for Forge to support more Mere Basic. Hell yeah. I feel like you could cut the soldiers in the millstone. Yeah, you're probably right. The Yoshin soldiers are surprisingly nice against aggro lists though, because I can get it down turn 1 with a factory. I kind of like the soldiers against the decks that I've been facing. It's definitely not optimal. This is mostly just like a really laborious control list that does really stupid shit because I think it's funny. My main bracket for red, blue, black. I run 36, but it got Smox time. Yeah, again, it depends. Like, what's your mana curve? How much like ramp are you running? Like, when are you playing? Like, how many like with 3 color, you do have kind of a like. It also depends on like how many color pips you have of everything, right? There's a lot that goes into it. So it depends. 36 is pretty common, but is probably technically a little low. But again, it's just Commander. You do whatever you have fun doing. Great to catch a stream. Better get to bed now, though. See you, dude. Yeah, dude. Thanks for hanging out. I agree. I need to shut down here pretty quick as well. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Thank you for showing up. Any interactions like likes and stuff like that, I really appreciate. Um, It was a great time. I really appreciate you guys keeping me company and hanging out. I only learned that Shandalar Old Border is basically adventure mode set to pre-modern. So if Forge also has movie design, I think I'm only just learning. Alright. Oh, hey, dude. Hell yeah. Nothing wrong with lurking. I usually lurk in streams too. Um, glad you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. I hope you all have a great night and a magical day and all that shit. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me.